You gotta be fucking kidding me. It already got rid of the goddamn super chats? Motherfucker. This goddamn thing is the dumbest motherfucking bullshit I've ever seen in my goddamn life. You son of a fucking bitch. I will destroy everything you've ever held holy. You have no idea who you're fucking with. God damn it. Okay, I can get him back. You can do this, Dusty. Alright, cool. You guys ready? Let's do it. Oh yeah, I deleted the intro. What the fuck ever. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the greatest one-man show in like all of the multiverses. This is the Dusty Smith Show, and what makes the show so good? It's the humility. As always, and thank you guys for joining me. I have an amazing show for you guys tonight, as I'm want to do. Gonna cover some he shall be Elon nonsense. Did you guys hear about the Twitter gate? Oh my God, us Dems are so owned. It's over for us, bros. And then Trump calling for the suspension of the Constitution, you know, like a real patriot would do. Gotta finish this off with some slow news week. I got a couple really interesting slow news week stories I'm going to share with you guys. I watched a documentary about the Silk Road. If you guys watch any documentaries about that, that shit's interesting. We're going to cover that at the very end, but let's go ahead and kick the best show in the goddamn universe off, as we always do. Open your hymnals to page 1. It's religious bullshit. Get it! Yeah, boy! 2002! Spring break 1999! Sorry, I went into MTV Raps there for a second. And first off, tonight, our religious bullshit. Oh, a little show note. Apparently, there was these people that were sending him at Meta, you know, the friendly atheist dude. They were sending him like ideas for clips from these religious dudes. You know, all the crazy preachers that I make fun of. I was stealing them from him at Meta, and they were like clipping them for him. They were just sending him like links to where he'd go find, and they were giving him timestamps and stuff, and then he was clipping them out and putting them on his Twitter. And apparently he ain't got time to do that no more, so they've contacted me, and they're like, hey, Dusty, will you take over for him at Meta? And I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll take over for him at Meta, because basically it's like a public service. Somebody has to put these crazy preachers on blast. Might as well be me. It also makes it easy for me to find for my show and display for you guys. So follow me on Twitter at Cult of Dusty1, Cult of Dusty1, Cult of Dusty1 if you want more of this bullshit. But first off, self-proclaimed prophet and apparently quantum physics expert Johnny Inlaw want to tell you guys why his magical superpowers that allow him to heal people, you know, that he totally has. Well, it's not magic at all, guys. It's science. Yikes.
A human could theoretically be in New York City and in London at the same time.
Really?
And actually, you can be in multiple places at the same time. And actually, that's an understanding of the quantum computers that are going to be what rules the world. It's essentially what one computer and all the things it could do, it knows how to reproduce itself to while it's like 20 million computers
it's fucking
doing the work for you and coming up with all the answers and coming back to you with that information. So we're going into an information age, a tech overload that is being described in different ways, but it's not away from the kingdom. It's beginning to explain to us, given a scientific understanding
of Jesus,
of the kingdom in a unique way. So
definitely.
when I say to him, a man, okay, straighten your leg now, and he straightens his leg,
he does not do that.
It's not just magic. It's
nothing.
We are speaking,
Lies.
we are using this energy that's captured inside micro tiny atoms, and we're using that energy and it's interacting with other atoms, and it's creating reality. So it's scientifically understandable, but it is the invisible realm. So we want to stop thinking of it being like magic, what's happening. It is understandable, but it is about liberating. Back to this thing I mentioned before, we want to talk about liberating electrons.
That's right, folks. It's not magic. He's just using his words, and sometimes his words are just vibrating your electrons and releasing the energy of them, you know, like science says you can do. So, on owned, and I now believe. Thank you, God. Thank you for proving to me once and for all that you exist with science. And then, on the religious bullshit, Christian hate preacher Greg Locke is back. Y'all ready from Greg Locke? Greg Locke's back. He got to tell you guys some shit. Apparently, Donald Trump has been contacting him, trying to pull him into the inner circle, and he ain't even giving Donald Trump the time of day anymore. He don't give a fuck about no Donald Trump. So, he didn't say that, but that's kind of the implication he's given here a little bit, that Donald Trump kind of desperate now, trying to get anybody he can into his inner realm, and Greg Locke just kind of blowing him off because he ain't important. Everybody leaving the sinking ship. Let's have a look.
Was it Thursday?
How the fuck do I know?
Yeah, we was supposed to be in Mar-a-Lago Thursday. Mm-hmm. And we didn't even go. Oh, and look, you ain't got to clap.
Okay.
I like him. Okay.
I know you do.
I'll get behind him if I need to. We didn't even show up. Mm-hmm. But you know what interesting? Let me tell you how God's still working. I didn't even show up, right? I didn't even tell him why.
Uh-huh.
I've had so much, my schedule's crazy right now. Mm-hmm. Things happening, kids sick and all that. I ain't even going. Mm-hmm. They'll invite me back. Mm-hmm. So the next morning I wake up and I got a text message.
From Trump?
From like the inner four circle.
Oh. All right.
With him. Down yonder. And they're like, hey, we just wondering if you would be involved in the inner circle. And I'm like, I ain't even got to show up in Mar-a-Lago. And then the next day they start sending me text messages about being in the inner circle.
Look how important I am. I'm the shit. President, ex-president Trump. Try to suck my nuts. That's how amazing I am. Pastor Greg Locke never misses an opportunity to kiss his own ass. That dude is a limber as fuck. I got to give it to him. Might be the only person I know more humble than I am. And but not looking good for Trump. Even his most dedicated sycophants, his biggest ass kissers, blowing him off. And I don't blame you. No telling who's going to show up to Mar-a-Lago. You might get pictures taken with OJ or some shit. Who knows? Ghislaine Maxwell. Maybe he's going to bust her out. Never know with that crazy old Trump. But apparently, he losing everybody, and you love to see it. And then a MAGA prophet, Julie Green, wants to suck Elon Musk's dick a little bit. And hey, I'll allow it. Let's hear her out.
All regarding Twitter, more exposures will be released. Things are not how they appear with this company, and the world will soon hear it all.
Oh, good.
May 24th.
Okay.
This article is from November 29th. Bombshell. Free speech suppression files found on Twitter. Also on November 28th, he said, this is a battle for the future of the civilization. If free speech is lost, even in America, tyranny is all that lies ahead. Now, I don't know exactly. He looks like he's really good. Mm-hmm. But sometimes with some of the symbolisms he's had on him or around him, I'm not for sure. But God says we'll definitely know what side he's on. But it looks like he's on the side of the good. But I'm not 100% on him yet. But I am happy about what he's doing with Twitter, and I'm glad he's exposing it.
That's right. God hasn't told her yet, but don't worry. God is going to tell her eventually if Elon Musk is good or bad, and then she is going to tell all us. But could God just tell me directly? Why does God have to tell you and then you have to tell me? Seems like an inefficient way of providing information. So I don't know. But anyway, let me know the moment you hear if Elon Musk is good or bad. But we're liking what he's doing. We're liking what the richest man in the world is doing. Because if there's one thing I know about God, it's how much he loves rich people. Said so right in the Bible. Jesus said you can't get into heaven unless you're rich as fuck. And if you want to follow me, get a bunch of shit. You need way more shit. You got to have drip. You got to fucking have cool outfits. You got to represent me well by being a wealthy part of my entourage. So go out there and make all that bank, motherfuckers, and then come join me and you can get into heaven. That's at least what my Bible said from what I remember. So pretty sure Elon is on God's side. And then more pedophilia from Christianity. Yeah, I know we're all going to be shocked. Just had a terrorist attack on the infrastructure of our power grids. because the chuds are worried that the drag queens are going to groom children, even though there's no evidence. But continuously, every single week, week after fucking week after week, what is this, the 4th year I've been doing this show? Haven't been a single week, I don't think, where I haven't pointed out the pedophilia going on in the church. Crickets! Crickets from all the Proud Boys, crickets from the chuds, crickets from the libs of TikTok or whatever the fuck that stochastic terrorist account is. They don't actually give a shit, folks. Cult leader in Arizona claims to be a prophet, marries 20 wives, one of them as young as 9, and is his own daughter, FBI claims. Yeah, happens every fucking week, folks. Why aren't you guys showing up with guns outside of their residences or their houses or their churches? Why don't you ever report on these people who are actually molesting children? Real pedophilia happening constantly. You never say a fucking word. Instead, you're going to pretend like it's drag queens doing it. How is this not the very definition of virtue signaling? Where it's clear you don't actually give a fuck, even in the tiniest iota, about these children. You're just trying to pretend like you do in order to excuse your bigotry and hatred to people you find icky and weird. It's so goddamn obvious. Your actions speak way louder than your fucking words, and that is my religious bullshit. Hey, Dirty Sexy Ports, how you doing tonight? Missed you guys. Hope you had a good weekend. Pedophilia in a church, I never would have guessed. I know, prepare your shock face. Always shocking on this show. Shock face. Rick James said that when talking about fighting with Charlie Murphy, that was so damn funny. Yep. What did the 5-finger say to the face? Slap! Back when Dave Chappelle was funny. They mean the future of dictatorship. Yep. They sure do love the rich, don't they? They sure do love finding people to worship over there on the conservative side. It's real fucking weird. And kids raped at drag queen store are 0. Kids raped at church, countless thousands, if not millions. Yeah, like I said on the last show, 80,000 kids molested by the Boy Scouts. 80,000. And it still exists. If that doesn't show you right there that they don't give an actual fuck about any of this stuff, it's so fake. It's just that they have nothing. They have no positions that are popular. They have no fucking ideas. So they just have to pretend like, hey, we are against pedophilia and you're all pedophiles. But they don't actually believe it. And there's no reason to pretend like that we believe that they believe it. And move right along, folks. It's been a trashy ass weekend. Let's jump into it. It's Trash World. What the fuck is it? Oh, it's this one that says trash, huh? Amazing. A trash world! A trash world! It's a dumpster fire and it's hellish. Trash world! A trash world! Everything sucks all of the time. Trash world! Trash world! And I forgot to mention, folks, at halftime of the show, I'm going to read every super chat. Please get your super chats in. Going to read all of them, folks. No super chats left out. Support the greatest show in the history of mankind, and also immortalize yourself forever and ever and ever. You'll die someday, probably. I won't, but I'll remember you because I've read your comment. The more you donate, the more serious I take your questions. So please support the show so I can continue to do this forever and ever and ever. Amen. And first up on the Trash World, Jordan B. Peterson is completely addicted to Twitter. This dude tweets like, I'm not even kidding, like 20 times an hour, every hour, like all night, 24 hours a day. And he ain't even trying to pretend anymore. Like he's not just a straight up partisan conservative shill. It's all exactly what you would expect from your boomer MAGA uncle. And this one really irritated me though, folks. Got 19,000 likes posting out, get him, Joe Rogan. Yeah, get him. And I watched this and it's just every fucking word is a lie. It's so irritating to hear this guy who has the most popular podcast in the world make me feel like I'm on crazy pills. Because everything he says here, you could easily just fact check for yourself and find out it's a lie. But it doesn't matter. He'll say it. 20 million people will watch it. And then Jordan Peterson will say, yeah, get him, you're right. And then 19,000 motherfuckers on Twitter who don't know what the hell's going on will like it and kiss their asses like they're telling the fucking truth. So here he is explaining basically, all right, so what happened is this, folks. And this was revealed on his show. And he's lying about something that was revealed on his show, which is depressing. Mark Zuckerberg came on his show, and Mark Zuckerberg said that they suppressed the Hunter Biden laptop story. And the reason they suppressed it is because they thought it was perhaps just Russian propaganda and not true. And a lot of different news sources, including some conservative sources, held back on the story because it seemed so crazy and implausible that they thought it might not be true, and they didn't want to publish false information, so they held the story back. And then separately, completely separate than this, the FBI messaged all the social media sites. They messaged Twitter and they messaged Facebook, and they told them, hey, we have evidence that maybe Russia is going to try to interfere in the elections again like they did last time, so be on the lookout. They never once mentioned Hunter Biden. They never once mentioned the laptop. They didn't tell them to suppress any story about Hunter Biden or the laptop because they never fucking mentioned that. Both Twitter and Facebook, on their own, without any government telling them to do it whatsoever, without the government ever mentioning it, period, a single time, decided to withhold these stories until there was enough information to prove that they were actually true. This is what Mark Zuckerberg said. So he gonna fucking lie about what Mark Zuckerberg said on his show amidst all the other lies he tells this little section. Let's have a look.
The collusion between the media and the government is pretty apparent, especially the left-wing media and left-wing government. It's pretty fucking apparent.
Where? Where is it apparent? Are you talking about Twittergate? The nothing burger that Elon Musk just put out? That was so underwhelming, it's already stopped trending. No one gives a shit because it was nothing. Zero that we already didn't already fucking know, which I'm going to cover in the next section, but continue.
There's some narratives that get shared back and forth, and
like
they have talking points, and
like
they
what?
don't talk about things they're not supposed to, like the Hunter Biden laptop story or something that...
Right, they held that on their own. They weren't told to hold that whatsoever. It had nothing to do with the government collusion whatsoever. And if you believe it does, where's your evidence of that? Because you had a motherfucker on your show that specifically told you otherwise.
It's actual news. Just gets...
Crazy
story. Because if that was the Donald Trump Jr. laptop, holy fucking shit, would that lead every night?
Yeah, I can't believe how little we've heard about the Hunter Biden laptop. Have you guys heard about this Hunter Biden laptop? Oh my God, I just heard about it for the first time. It's not like the news has been covering it 24/7 every fucking day of my life hearing about this motherfucking bullshit. What are you talking about?
I mean, this whole Russia collusion story has turned out to be completely nonsense.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking God, dude. Oh my fucking God. So first off, the guy who worked for Trump, that was his campaign chief, admitted to it. He was fucking tried for his fucking crimes, goddammit. Paul Manafort admits he shared Trump campaign info with Russian agent purely to make money. That's what he claims. He claims it just to make money, but he did to help Trump get elected. They shared polling information with Russian spies that were then used by the Russian troll farms to try to interfere in our elections. In an interview with Business Insider, former Donald Trump campaign manager Paul Manafort admitted he was in contact with the Russians and shared information during the former president's 2016 presidential run. We know this. They even did a goddamn documentary where they went inside the fucking Russian troll farms and showed you exactly what they did. You can watch it with your own two goddamn eyes.
In 2016, our sovereignty was violated by a foreign power which found a way to interfere in our democratic process. We faced an attack of a new kind. The Russians hacked democracy.
I've been trying for years to figure out what happened. If the U.S. system depends on trust in democratic institutions, who benefits if Americans lose that trust?
Are we doing everything we can to make sure that Americans will decide who is running this country?
In 2016, it was a three-ring circus of election meddling. Russian trolls have been busy making mischief on the internet.
They were using fake accounts, fake organizations, and finally, fake local media.
Как сейчас поставить эту цепочку? Придумал определение, такая получается карусель лжи.
Russian intelligence hacking the DNC.
They were not hacking the Trump campaign.
in the alleged collusion.
Let's instead use the word seduction.
You have Russia saying, we want to help you. And you have Don Jr. saying, love it.
Of course Russians prefer Trump, because Trump said that he preferred Russians.
Russia was not pro-Trump. They were anti-America.
So, a whole documentary. His campaign chief admitted he did it. They've documented the whole fucking thing. I feel like I'm on crazy pills, folks. They sit there on the most popular podcast in the world, spread these lies unchecked. And then all the most popular conservative influencers goes out there and backs them up on it, unchecked. And people like me can barely get anybody to fucking listen to me. It's just the most frustrating thing you can possibly imagine. Continue, please.
That's insane. That was 3.5 years the American public was getting beat down with
the truth,
the Russia collusion thing.
And it wasn't real.
And it was created.
Yeah.
It was created by the Democratic Party. Maybe that's not the exact thing, but it was created by people that were insiders in the Democratic Party.
Yeah, and no one's being held accountable. No one's going to jail for it. But they were trying to literally...
Yeah, the guy who fucking did it went to jail, motherfucker. He admitted to it. He went to jail. Like, good God.
Impeach Trump for some shit that they made up. But it's... Look.
They tried to impeach Trump for shit that they made up. Nobody impeached Trump for Russian collusion. First, they impeached him, or they attempted to impeach him, for doing a quid pro quo with Zelensky in Ukraine, trying to tie aid to Ukraine with him giving Trump dirt on Joe Biden to hurt his chance to win the presidency. And then the second time they tried to impeach him was because he tried to overthrow the goddamn government and install himself as a dictator. Both things which absolutely fucking happened. You lying sack of shit. Man, I hope that money is worth it, Joe Rogan. I hope it's worth it. I hope selling out every bit of integrity that you ever had, because I used to think you had integrity. Maybe you never did, but I used to kind of look up to you. I used to think you were more than this. But I hope that 200, 300 million, whatever you're being paid is worth it. All the people you're hurting, all the lies you're spreading, the trash world you're leaving for your children. I hope it's worth it, motherfucker.
Trump's not a perfect guy.
Yeah, no shit.
This is not a pro-Trump
speech. It is. You're literally lying to back Trump up. They always say this. They lie for Trump, and they're like, I'm not a pro-Trump guy, but here's a bunch of bullshit that does nothing but help Trump and back up his lies. You're so goddamn transparent, motherfucker.
Safe to say Trump is not a perfect
guy. But this fucking, this thing that he kept saying about the deep state, it's real.
Yeah.
It's 100% real. The swamp is real.
The swamp is definitely.
Yeah, the swamp is Trump. How could there ever be a greater fucking swamp than Trump, you goddamn shill? Oh, I'm not pro-Trump, but let me back up everything Trump says. Let me back up his lies.
They're fucking real monsters, and they were really trying to get rid of them by lying. Like, they were not spending...
What do they lie about? What do they lie about, motherfucker? Show me in any of his impeachment proceedings the lies. You just lied by claiming Russia collusion had anything to do with any of the impeachments.
Their time trying to make the government work efficiently and make the country a better place for everyone and prop up the middle class. No, they were trying to regain power.
Yes. They can't do anything that you just said until they regain power and get rid of Trump, who was doing everything he can to do the opposite of that. Withdrawing us from the Paris Climate Agreement. Withdrawing all regulations to help stem the tide of global warming. Tax cuts for billionaires. Every fucking thing you could possibly do wrong to set our country back, to set our world back, he was doing. So yes, they were trying to get that motherfucker out of power so they could correct the course of our goddamn ship exactly like they were supposed to do. And people like you stood in the way. People like you assisted the fucking evil. People like you decided money was more important than being a solution to the fucking problem.
They got it. With a dead man. They have to have facts, and they have to show you why they come to these conclusions.
Yeah, I just did, motherfucker. Where's your facts? You're doing nothing. You're showing no facts. Zero. Just spewing diarrhea out of your fucking bald ass. Just goddamn it. So frustrated this continuously gets rewarded by the shit fucking world we live in. And speaking of goddamn which, here this weekend, I believe this is in Ohio. Here's some of the Proud Boys, the Chuds, out at a drag queen story hour. Or maybe it's just a drag show. Trying to intimidate, trying to spread fear. We just had one of these motherfuckers go into a gay club, murder 5 people. Because of this. But these terrorists don't give a shit. They don't care about the children at all. These pedophile enablers, because make no mistake, when instead of going after the actual pedophiles, when they pretend like people who are in no way grooming or molesting children are molesting children, they provide cover, aid, and comfort to actual pedophiles who can hide while you put the spotlight on people who don't fucking deserve it. Every fucking one of you are pedophile enablers. Look at you. Groomers are child abusers. Yes, you are. Every accusation is a goddamn confession. There's more of them. Look at these fucking winners. There's the master race folks just trying to intimidate. And of course, for some reason, strangely, in this dumpster fire goddamn timeline, they've co-opted the song YMCA because of Trump. You know, a song for gay people, by gay people. So while they do nothing but cause terrorism and violence on gay people, they also steal their music. Just to add insult to injury. Here these terrorists are dancing to YMCA. Where was a single one of these motherfuckers when the Boy Scout was raping 80,000 children? Where were they? They were probably fucking scoutmasters in the Boy Scouts helping out. And then the stochastic terrorist account, Libs of TikTok, just doing what they do. Spreading hate on Twitter. Elon Musk reinstated them personally so they could do this. This is what he wants Twitter to be. Posted a theater in North Carolina is hosting a drag show where they advertise that minors can come, and also the show may contain adult themes, you know, like any PG-13 movies. Have you ever been to like Hamburger Mary's? It's just a hamburger joint. And they have drag queens there, and yeah, they may get on stage and say fuck every once in a while, a curse word, but it's nothing. Nothing kids don't hear every fucking single day. But yeah, they say, hey, there may be some, you know, adult language. Nothing is happening. They're just trying to sow fear and create terrorism towards gay people because this is how they make money. Why are kids being invited to attend an adult-themed drag performance? Why are kids allowed to go to football games where cheerleaders are skippily dressed and dancing around? Why are kids allowed to go to Hooters? Why are kids allowed to even log onto the internet where every single type of hardcore porn is available with a single search? Why? Oh my, let's clutch our fucking pearls tighter. But they know exactly what's going to happen because the last time they did this, another terrorist walked into a gay club and murdered 5 people. So why would they stop? They're getting what they want. They want death. They want destruction. They want the murders of trans, gay, and drag. They want that. And they're getting exactly what they fucking want. Because after they put this out, now the cops aren't saying there's a connection here, but what the fuck could it possibly be? Several power substations were damaged and taken offline by gunfire, knocking out power to 40,000 residents in Moore County, North Carolina. Gun stores were robbed. A drag show was canceled. A local extremist implied that's why the power went out. 40,000 people without electricity during December. And I don't want to get conspiratorial, but
North Carolina?
I'm with this woman. I have a theory.
You're coming down the rabbit hole with me. So in Southern Pines, North Carolina, right around Fort Bragg Military Base, they were going to have a drag show, right? And a bunch of people in the area decided they did not like this because drag performers are pedophiles. So they were going to protest. It turned into a bit of a thing. They got the permit to protest. They expected like 100 people to protest this. They thought the Proud Boys might show up. The whole reason that they were having protests is because they thought that the drag performers were pedophiles that were grooming children, because at first it was an all ages show, but due to the backlash, they changed it to 18 plus. The performers were getting death threats. This was chronicled in the Fayetteville Observer on December 2nd. Then yesterday happens, the day of the drag show. It didn't happen. What did happen was a massive power outage because people sabotaged substations. At least 2 were damaged by gunfire. Yup, gunfire. So that effectively put an end to the drag show. One of the local people that was protesting it posted on Facebook right afterwards, "The power's out in Moore County and I know why." Then she gets a visit from the police and she's like, "It was God." Because of course, right? So now the FBI is involved. The power generation equipment is damaged beyond repair, so they have to replace it. It's going to take several days before they get anything back online. So the chick that posted, "I know why," was a former psych ops officer from the Army who was discharged. You can look that up yourself. Anyway, she posted right before the show the information of the sponsors, imploring others to voice their opinions and saying, "You know what to do." That's very January 6th of her. So I'm pretty sure we know what happened to the power.
Uh-huh.
Am I right?
Yes.
Like, I'm not going down conspiracy theory territory right here. Like, the substations were damaged by gunfire. At the same time, all this other stuff is going on. Like, a coincidence? I think not. Why is this not getting more attention?
And I wouldn't be surprised if they never found out who did this, because these power stations are usually in very rural areas without cameras and shit. So we'll probably never know the truth, but we know the fucking truth. It's more goddamn terrorism inspired by Elon Musk Twitter. This is what they want, folks. What are we going to do about it? I'm open. I'm open to fucking suggestions. I mean, we need to get more serious about boycotting whatever sponsors are left on Twitter. I know they're pretty much nothing but right-wing chud sponsors now, but if there's any that are not, we have to go after the fucking sponsors. And yeah, breaking, 40,000 Americans in Moore County, North Carolina are without power and many without water today after domestic terrorists coordinated simultaneous attacks on 3 electrical substations. The reason for this attack was to stop an 18-plus drag show. Yep. Welcome to the new fucking America, where terrorists pretend like they give a shit about children while they ignore actual pedophilia and go after harmless drag shows that have no evidence whatsoever have ever led to a single molestation or grooming. Not one. 0 evidence. Not fucking one. I actually put out a challenge to provide me evidence that a single child has ever been fucking groomed or molested from any drag queen story hour or drag queen event. And after exhaustive searching, they were able to provide me one example of a person who years before had been charged with a sex crime against a child, who was allowed to go in and speak at a drag queen story hour because the people that were supposed to do the background checks didn't do the background checks. But no evidence whatsoever that person even talked to a child other than reading a story, much less that they were groomed a child, much less that they molested a child. No parent came forward to say they groomed or molested their child. And we know these drag queen story hours are very well chaperoned. The parents are fucking everywhere. You can't groom children when their parents are sitting right there. That was the only example given to me. Because there is no evidence of this. It has not happened. But what does happen is the churches raping your children all over the place. They don't care. They don't give a shit. They're as fake as human beings could possibly ever goddamn be. Just terrorists. And that's my fucking trash world. A minute address. Oh no, I know, right? Like literally, who gives a shit? Haven't you guys ever watched RuPaul's Drag Race? I mean, they're catty. They like to insult each other. I give them that, but it's as harmless as you fucking can get. They're just lip syncing to music. Just dancing around, lip syncing to music. That's fucking all there is to it. It's as harmless as it can goddamn get. It's just wild. It's literally about nothing more than bigotry, homophobia, and transphobia. That's it. It's naked as it can get. Love Drag Race. I used to watch it. I get kind of bored with it because it's the same thing every show, and they're all so catty all the fucking time. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. Be nice to each other, drag queens. You all have way more in common than not. You should have each other's back more than that. Of course, I know that's part of the whole show and part of the whole, scene is reading each other. That's part of the charm of it. But after a while, I'm like, eh. All right, let's move along, folks. So I did the trash world first to cover the terrorist attack on the power infrastructure, because it's going to come in to play in the next section. We talked about Glenn Greenwald. And also, get in your super chats, folks. After the Elon section, we're going to read all the super chats. But for now, he shall be Elon. More Elon coverage, folks. Got a little bird poop on his eyeball. Poor Elon. He looks so sad. So, last time we were covering Elon Musk, he had just banned Kanye West again. Free speech absolutionist. Anybody should be allowed to say anything they want to as long as it's not against the law. Not you, Kanye. You're making me look bad. You got to go. But 6 weeks ago, it was a different story. This aged like milk. Elon was like, wait for it. And it's him and Kanye doing this together. Little Degeneration X. And he's like, fun times ahead. Yeah, super fun. Kanye gonna use your platform in order to spread anti-Semitic bullshit and swastikas, which is how you pronounce that word. I looked it up and everybody was wrong. It's pronounced swastika. Fuck y'all. And then, going as it has since Elon took over, Mr. Free Speech banning people left and right for shit that doesn't in any way violate Twitter rules. This guy got banned for saying Kyle Rittenhouse dick riders are a special bunch. And what the fuck was that banned for? I bet if it said Hunter Biden dick riders are a special bunch, it'd still be up. Would never have gotten fucking removed. He is doing everything he can to turn this into a right-wing mouthpiece. But the dick riding doesn't end for a fucking moment. And we all have to read about it because he's changed the way Twitter works for some reason. And it appears, regardless if he follows these people or not, regardless if he follows anybody who follows these people or not, they show up at the very top of your timeline. Every one of these right-wing chuds. And they're all sucking his dick. Tim Young, they never thought they'd be exposed. Will Chamberlain, what Elon is doing with Twitter is unprecedented and heroic. He's such a hero, the richest man in the world. Benny Johnson, Elon Musk is the bravest person currently living in America. So brave. The richest man in the world. Good God. They're so weird. Like I said on the last show, I don't know anybody on the left who worships other human beings like this. It's no wonder they're so easily drawn into cults on the right. So Elon is so desperate to be the hero of the right, and so desperate to prove that he was correct all along for shifting to the right and for trying to turn Twitter into a right-wing mouthpiece. And so now he's using his position at Chief Twit to rehash the Hunter Biden laptop story. So as I told you guys earlier, the FBI put out this warning that, hey, we have evidence that Russia might try to interfere in our election again. They said nothing about the laptop, nothing about Hunter Biden, none of that. And then when the stories of the Elon Musk laptop started coming out, like places like the Wall Street Journal, Even Fox News for a little while decided not to run the story because it looked like it might be fake and they wanted to wait. They held it off. And Facebook and Twitter, both, without any prodding from the government whatsoever, decided to hold back on the story. And there was a lot of internal conflict on Twitter about where they should hold the story back, which was revealed. But Elon is desperate to make this a thing again and to try to own the libs. So he's decided to create this thing called the Twitter Files, or as been dubbed Twittergate, where he's going to release the private files that Twitter has collected, the internal correspondence between the different employees about how content moderation was handled as it's concerned with Hunter Biden and the DNC. So he had to hype this thing up to the moon. Want to get everybody all excited about it. What really happened with the Hunter Biden story? Suppression by Twitter will be published on Twitter at 5 p.m. Eastern time. That's right, folks. Get hyped. The real story's coming out. We're going to blow this thing wide open. Then he's like, here we go. So what he did was he passed all the files over to Matt Taibbi. I guess that's how you pronounce his name. I don't give a fuck. Who used to be a respected journalist, kind of like a Glenn Greenwald, but basically sold out and became one of these right-wing mouthpieces because that's where the money is, right? As I told you guys, I tell you these guys all the time, that the narrative that the media is left-wing is a fucking myth. It absolutely is not in any way. If anything, it leans heavily fucking right. And if you want to make money, the absolute best way to make money right now in this current climate is to make right-wing content. And so people are willing to fucking sell out left and goddamn right. From Joe Rogan to Glenn Greenwald to Matt Taibbi. So Elon, of course, picks this particular journalist for a reason, because he knows that he's going to put out the narrative that Elon Musk wants him to put out. And that's that the Democrats hate free speech and they interfered in our elections by forcing Twitter to remove posts, although how they could have forced Twitter to do anything, they didn't, so don't think about it. And he got to blow the roof off the story, folks. So he gave Matt Taibbi exclusive access to all these documents. And we just have to take Matt's word for it because the documents weren't released to the public. So we don't actually know what's in the documents. We just have to take this guy's one-sided narrative about it, right? And we already know the narrative he's going to put out there. But even then, even with doing everything Elon could to put his thumb on the scale, to put the narrative out there that he wanted, it fell completely fucking flat because there is no there. There is no story here. Nothing we didn't already know was revealed. And a lot of the websites called him out for this. Here's the Daily Beast. Deeply underwhelmed. Right-wingers on Musk overhyped Twitter files. And yes, it was deeply underwhelming. It happened like just yesterday, and it's not even trending anymore. Everybody's already forgotten about it because it was a nothing burger. And I thought I would read you guys probably the best article. I read many articles about this. Probably the best article I read about it. No, you do not have a constitutional right to post Hunter Biden's dick pics on Twitter, which was mostly what got removed, was revenge porn. Pictures that were stolen off Hunter Biden's laptop that show his genitalia. That was mainly what the DNC asked to have removed on Twitter. So the story says, while normal humans who denied Republicans their red wave were enjoying an epic sports weekend, an insular community of MAGA activists and online contrarians led by the world's richest man, for now, were getting riled up about a cache of leaked emails revealing that the former actor James Woods and Chinese troll accounts were not allowed to post ill-gotten photos of Hunter Biden's hog on a private company's micro-blogging platform 25 months ago. Now, if you are one of the normals, someone who would never think about posting another person's penis on your social media account, has no desire to see politicians' kids' penises when scrolling social media, doesn't understand why there are other people out there who care one way or another about the moderation policy surrounding stolen penis photos, or can't even figure out what it is that I'm talking about, then this might seem like a gratuitous matter for an article. Sadly, it's not. Because among Republican members of Congress, leading conservative media commentators, contrarian substackers, conservative tech bros, and friends of Donald Trump, the ability to post Hunter Biden's cock shots on Twitter is the number one issue in America this weekend. They believe that if they are not allowed to post porno, our constitutional republic may be in jeopardy. I truly, truly wish I were joking. Here's a synopsis for the blessedly uninitiated. On Friday, Elon Musk promised to reveal what really happened with Hunter Biden's story suppression by Twitter. It turns out that he had provided a trove of internal corporate documents to the Tulsi Gabbard of Substack, Matt Taibbi, who said they amounted to a unique and explosive story, revealing the juicy details inside Twitter's decision to suppress the New York Post Hunter Biden laptop story, which had previously been rejected by such liberal outlets as Fox News and the Wall Street Journal due to its suspicious provenance. Taibbi agreed to divulge these private emails on Twitter itself rather than via his Substack as part of a few conditions, which he does not detail, that were imposed on him presumably by Musk. The documents Taibbi tweeted on Friday were titillating in the way that reading private correspondence revealing what people were really saying around a controversial subject always is. But nothing new was learned about the contours of the story. The leak mostly relitigates two facts that have already received much ink across the media. Number one, how Twitter throttled the New York Post's initial story about Hunter Biden's laptop based on what we now know was an incorrect assessment of its sources. And two, how political campaigns and government agencies have worked with social media companies, in this case Twitter, to flag troubling content. On the first point, the emails confirm the essential consensus that has come into focus in reporting on the matter. Twitter got out over its skis on the ban and a typically corporate bureaucratic goat rope ensued as the company tried to unfuck the situation, as one employee put it. To say that this is not a new revelation would be an understatement, given that Twitter's former CEO, Jack Dorsey, admitted that this was a mistake over a year ago. As such, it was the latter point that drove the most hysterical discussion online Friday. The most retweeted installment of Taibbi's thread so far was this, which purported to show the Biden campaign directed Twitter to delete specific tweets. And the tweet that Matt Taibbi put out says, by 2020, requests from connected actors to delete tweets were routine. One executive would write to another, more to review from the Biden team. The reply would come back, handled, with some links that they apparently removed from Twitter. The article goes on to say, this supposed smoking gun resulted in Musk responding to his own journalistic stenographer on Twitter with a fire emoji and the comment, if this isn't a violation of the Constitution's First Amendment, what is? That should have a question mark there, Musk. Musk was so impressed with this digital citizen's arrest that he made it his pinned tweet, after which the MAGA attaboys for Musk came hot and heavy. Right-wing commentator Buck Sexton, that's got to be a porn name, right? Said this was a bright red line violation and that Biden should be impeached for it. Representative James Comer, Republican Tennessee, was on Fox promising that everyone at Twitter involved with this would be brought before the House Oversight Committee. Representative Billy Long retweeted several MAGA influencers praising Elon for, among other things, exposing corruption at the highest levels of society. Meanwhile, Kerry Lake, hype man Pizzagate Jack Piece of Shitbick, declared this is the biggest story in modern presidential election history. Claimed that we can never go back to the country we were before this moment, and donned this a digital insurrection. In reality, all they really had was a digital erection. The offending material that Taibbi revealed was removed by Twitter at the Biden campaign request turns out to have been a bunch of links to Hunter Biden in the buff. There was a tweet from a Chinese account featuring a naked woman on top of Hunter Biden, as well as a family photo. 2 pictures of Hunter Biden's penis, one with another woman in the background. Taibbi's next list of material was removed by Twitter after being flagged by the Democratic National Committee. They included a picture of Hunter Biden smoking crack and getting his feet rubbed, and a link to a Hunter Biden sex tape. And that's the big hubbub. Social media company removes unwanted dick pics. News at 11. As someone who once consulted for social media companies on content moderation issues, let me tell you, the amount of eggplant-related terms of service violations that these platforms review in a given year is so voluminous that we have not yet invented an artificial intelligence machine capable of counting them. Yet Taibbi and Musk are trying to turn this mundane moderation matter into the story of the century by emphasizing a few misconceptions about how platforms work with political campaigns and what First Amendment obligations they do or do not have. To debunk a few of them, number one, campaigns of all ideological stripes have directed lines into social media companies and make requests about offending content. There is nothing at all strange about what is shown in these emails. If Jeb's kids grundle, which I guess is the word for dick, I've never heard that word used for dick, but I'm learning every day. If Jeb's kids grundle was posted by a Chinese troll, we surely would have flagged that for the company in the hopes they deleted it. And I suspect their internal correspondence on the matter would have been identical. This would not have been a demand or a dictate from our campaign, mind you. Companies can do what they want. In this specific instant, the request came from a campaign that has absolutely no government authority at all. At the time of the correspondence in question, Joe Biden was a private citizen running for office, while Donald Trump was the president. Taibbi acknowledges that Trump's White House made requests that were received and honored, and that there's no evidence that I've seen of any government involvement in the laptop story. So if there are any First Amendment issues at play here, and I don't believe there are, since neither Musk nor Taibbi have demonstrated that the government made any mandates on Twitter, they would, in this case, only relate to the material that Trump wanted removed. But that is not the narrative they want to show you guys and put out there, so they're not actually talking about that. Number three, why MAGA Republicans and Elon Musk are so adamant that people be able to post photos of Hunter Johnson is something that should probably be explored with their respected preachers and psychiatrists. But it is certainly not a matter for constitutional scholars or litigators. While Mr. Lipson from the Virgin Suicides may derive a depraved type of happiness from publishing pictures of other people's genitalia on a private company's public bulletin board without the approval of those pictures, the First Amendment does not bestow upon him the right to prevent the company from taking down the offending material. To sum up what we've learned, big penis, little news. First Amendment not under threat. Musk and Taibbi have promised more editions of the Twitter files in the coming days. Maybe next time they won't come up so limp. So a nothing burger, as much as a nothing burger has ever fucking been, even their own people are calling it a nothing burger. Like, let's see. Sebastian Gorka, about as far right as you can get. Literally a mouthpiece for the right. Said, so far I'm deeply underwhelmed. We know the Dems in D.C. colluded with the Dems in Palo Alto. Big whoop. Need a paper trail of felonies. Elon better have that. And then he's bitching at Elon. So show us the evidence of that then. Yeah, show us the evidence. Somebody said this was a clear violation of First Amendment, to which Sebastian Gorka says, no, it's not. The DNC asking a private company to censor has nothing to do with the First Amendment. I'm shocked that Sebastian Gorka is actually being honest here. As a conservative, they usually are heavily punished for being honest, and he probably will be too. I'm sure he'll regret actually telling the truth about this, but nothing burger. Elon failing a goddamn again. It's so desperate, but that's not stopping the chuds from taking a celebration lap. And Elon Musk conversating with him every chance he can possibly get. So he says, if this isn't a violation of the Constitution's First Amendment, what is? Lots of things besides this, but a private company being asked and taking down dick pics is not a violation of the Constitution's First Amendment in any goddamn way. You fucking moron. This is why people say Elon Musk is stupid. I'm not sure he's actually stupid here. I think he's just lying on purpose, but because he's trying to hype up this story that he's pretty much created out of whole cloth in order to get attention to himself and to prove that he was right to be shitting on the Dems. And the Hodge twins, two of the biggest chuds on all of YouTube, say it 100% is collusion between government and big tech to violate the First Amendment. Yeah, here's some constitutional scholars for you. The Hodge twins, two of the dumbest motherfuckers I've ever seen. Just two meatheads. You ever seen the Hodge twins? They're so dumb that they have to be in videos together. They're like kind of like what is her name? Not Salt and Pepper, but the other two that are the two black ladies that support Trump all the time. They have to appear in videos together because alone they're too fucking dumb. So they have to have two of them to equal one single brain. So one can finish the other one's sentence, and they can help each other out. What are their fucking names? I want to say Salt and Pepper so bad. It's not Salt and Pepper. It's Ivory and Spice. No, that's not it. Diamond and Silk. That's what it is. Diamond and Silk. That sounds like a strip club. Anyway, Elon goes on to reply to the Hodge twins. Twitter acting by itself to suppress free speech is not a First Amendment violation, but acting under orders from the government is to suppress free speech with no judicial review is, although they weren't part of the government at all, they were private citizens. Just like if I decided to start my own political party, the Logic Party, and I decided to run for governor of Mississippi, that does not make me part of the government. Starting my own party and running for government doesn't make me part of the government. I only become part of the government if I win. That's how elections work. So just dumb as goddamn shit. And anyway, his own guy already told him that he's wrong. Matt Taibbi's own tweets. There's no evidence that I've seen of any government involvement in the laptop story. So the hand-picked motherfucker Elon Musk chose to spread this narrative, literally saying Elon Musk is wrong, but Elon Musk don't care. He's got his own narrative to spread. Fuck what the facts are. He gonna say it regardless. Because he has no integrity. What can you say? And yes, as many people pointed out to him, for the millionth time, the First Amendment only applies to the government. Biden was a private individual and his campaign wasn't the government. The links were literally to accounts that posted nude pictures of Hunter Biden, which is revenge porn and is unlawful in many states. So I guess like revenge porn is legal now on Twitter? I guess you can do it, Chuds. Just go out there. Go ahead. I'm kidding. Do not do this. But I'm just saying, hey, if you want to do it, I guess Elon considers that part of the First Amendment. Get revenge upon your enemies. Post nude pictures of them without their permission on Twitter. Do it, y'all. But of course, conservatives can't handle the truth. So they're out there falling all over themselves to claim that the DNC was part of the government. MCX Milkers, great name, says a political party is absolutely the government when half of all public office holders are members of that political party. No, the people that won and actually got positions in the government are part of the government. But people who have not won in that party are not members of the government. That's not how any of this shit works. This is just shamelessly wrong. DNC leadership consists largely of current office holders who are, in fact, part of the government. I mean, if they won elections, yes, they're part of the government. But the DNC party itself and Joe Biden at this time was not part of the government because they had not won yet. That's how that fucking works. But don't let the facts get in the way of your stupid goddamn narratives. Let me skip ahead a few here. But of course, that doesn't stop chuds from lying out there. Buck Sexton's out there saying, so we have proof Biden's White House engaged in bright red line violations of the First Amendment to suppress disfavored speech, especially as it relates to their election prospects. This is a massive scandal and Biden should rightfully be impeached. But yeah, the whole big reveal in the Twitter files is based on these guys not remembering who the president was in 2020. Biden was not the fucking president. But yep, Elon reached the pinnacle, yo. He finally got the elite of our society worshiping him, like John Paul Mac Isaac, you know, the repair shop guy who stole Hunter Biden's laptop after it was left there and hacked into it and released all the files. Says Elon Musk is his spirit animal. Oh, this just in from Elon Musk. No thanks, dude. Look at this guy. Is this the guy you want to worship you? Well, congratulations, Elon. Because he does. Oh, why did they remove this? And anyway, apparently James Woods is the conservative hero this week because he posted a picture of Hunter Biden's dick. And I guess the DNC requested that it be removed because it was, revenge porn. They did demand, because they weren't part of the government and they don't have any ability to demand a private company remove it, but they asked and the company did. So James Woods is claiming the DNC destroyed my career by having Twitter remove a dick pic, so I'm going to sue them. As Ryan Flopsky says, in today's quintessential, this is MAGA movement, James Wood is being lauded as brave, patriotic hero because he is talking about suing the DNC because Twitter removed his post of a nude Hunter Biden pic. And they wonder why they continue to lose elections. Yep, that's why you're losing. The only way you guys can win is to hinder people from voting. It's so obvious to most Americans that you guys don't give a shit about anything but trying to own the libs. You have no solution. And yet, Mr. James Woods, you have the right to remain a Republican. Anything you tweet will be ridiculed. If you cannot find a nude pic of Hunter Biden, one will be provided to you by Space Karen. Now step away from the penis. This is an erection. I am a werewolf, and this is a real badge. Yep. Herschel Walker gonna get you. But of course, he's not actually going to sue the DNC, I don't imagine, because the DNC would, of course, bring Twitter into this as a co-defendant, which would result in Wood suing Musk, and we know he's not going to do that, so it's all bullshit. An actor who's past his prime, not getting the big roles anymore, just trying to bring attention to himself, kind of like Kevin Sorbo. So sad, because James Wood at one time was a great actor. But they're calling for blood, people. They're calling for blood for this nothing burger of a story. They're calling for the head of legal policy at the time for Twitter to basically be killed. They're calling for her death. This tweet says, Twitter head of legal policy, Vijaya Gadde, and this is supposedly a fake quote from her, but they're trying to put words in her mouth. I knowingly subverted your election process. I did it with intent to throw the election, and that makes me guilty of treason under Article 3, Section 3 of the United States Constitution. And if you read the comments, they're like, yeah, either hang her or put her in Gitmo. They're trying to kill this woman because she agreed with the DNC to take a dick pic off Twitter, y'all. That's the level we're dealing with here. Meanwhile, on Elon's Twitter, this tweet was up for over a day from politician Sukri Abadaram, who says, we can no longer get rid of tyranny by the ballots. It's only by bullets now. Yeah, super cool, Elon. Imagine if you were Coca-Cola and your ad appeared under this tweet calling for people to be murdered. Imagine if you're McDonald's. Imagine if you're anybody. This is why they're fleeing your site, Elon. No one wants to be associated with the violence and terror you're allowing, you're encouraging. And this is how ridiculous they are, folks. So we know what real stochastic terrorism is. Real stochastic terrorism is like Tim Pool going on his Twitter and insinuating that all gay people, or at the very least, everybody who is associated and runs a drag queen story hour, is a groomer, is a pedophile who is trying to molest children. We know exactly what that kind of lie leads to. It leads to what happened at Club Q, where the guy went in there and murdered 5 people. It leads to what happened in North Carolina, where they had a multifaceted terror attack on the power structure there. That's what real stochastic terrorism is. It's almost entirely from the right. But they had to lie and downplay because they know their side is doing it. So people like Glenn Greenwald, another one of these guys who has absolutely no integrity whatsoever, soulless, has to get out there and pretend like criticizing journalists like Matt Taibbi is actually stochastic terrorism, which does nothing but downplay actual stochastic terrorism and covers for the people who are really doing it. In the same exact way that the people going out there and protesting Drag Queen Story Hour are covering for the actual pedophiles who are raping children at the churches. Glenn Greenwald says, the ongoing attacks on Matt Taibbi from jealous employees of NBC, CNN, The Daily Beast, and collapsing Brooklyn-based digital outlets is a form of stochastic terrorism that is literally putting him in harm's way and straight up inciting violence against him and his family. No. Criticizing a journalist is not stochastic terrorism. You are not allowed to move this goalpost in this way. Now, if they were to accuse him of child rape, if they were to say, hey, in his house right now, he has children in there that he's grooming, he's about to molest them, yes, that would be stochastic terrorism. What your side is doing, Glenn, what you help to promote every single day. Now, I know why your gutless, cowardly, evil ass is trying to move those goalposts. It's trying to cover. It's trying to pretend like reality ain't what it fucking is. But we see right goddamn through you, you worthless scumbag. What happened to you, man? No amount of money could be worth this. You are a gay man yourself. They are murdering gay people, threatening them, terrorizing them. Why would you be a part of this? It can't possibly be worth it, man. I wish there was something inside of you I could reach, but I know there's not. I know it's just a void, a black hole, nothingness. How do you live with yourself, man? You're going to die someday. You're going to die someday, dude. And this is the legacy you're going to leave behind. This is what people are going to remember of you. You're not going to win. History is going to remember you very fucking unkindly because our society is progressing. You're dinosaurs. You're dying off. You will go extinct. But now, of course, Elon is getting out there to use this to pretend like he's the victim, of course, while he uses his platform to spread misinformation, to try to make mountains out of molehills. Gonna pretend like he, as the richest man in the goddamn world, the singular human on the planet that capitalism has rewarded more than any other, gonna pretend he's the victim here. Musk says he faces quite significant risk of being assassinated. No one's gonna assassinate you, motherfucker. No one gives a shit. Goddamn. But you know who might get assassinated? All the gay people being called groomers by accounts that you are signal boosting for day in and day goddamn out. People that you are harming are in danger. Not you, motherfucker. People that don't have the money to buy the best security in the fucking world. That's who's in real danger, Musk. But that's not stopping him. Trump 2.0 out there playing the victim every goddamn chance he gets. So of course, like I said, he's interacting with these right-wing accounts every chance he can possibly get. They're who he is following. They are his people. He wants to turn Twitter into this right-wing mouthpiece. So, of course, he had some kind of large audio conference with all the worst people on Twitter. People like Kim.com, the Hodge twins, Ian Mouse Wrong. And during this conference, got on there and played the victim, trying to pretend like he's such a fucking hero and his life is in danger for spreading this bullshit.
Yeah. No, I mean, frankly, the risk of something bad happening to me, of even literally being shot, is quite significant. I'm definitely not going to be, doing any open air car parades. Let me put it that way. But it's also it's not that hard to kill me if somebody wanted to. So hopefully they don't. And if fate smiles upon the situation with me and does not
security.
That does not happen.
Yeah, dude, you got so much fucking security. It's just so stupid. Always playing the victim. Yeah, here's the Chud parade. He was interacting with Mark Dice, the Shapiro accounts, IML's wrong, Kim, just all of them. Chud soup. That's what he's encouraging. That's what he's creating on Twitter. Yeah, I agree with Luke here. Colin, of course, I'm guessing paid for his blue check mark. Let's see. I guarantee you. Let's see. No, he's... Oh, yeah. Bought his Twitter blue check mark. So you know he's on the up and up. Paid his daddy Elon Musk $8 to get this stupid check mark. He says, Elon Musk is in the crosshairs of some very powerful people. People who will destroy your life and family. Yet he exposed the truth anyways without batting an eye. This is the courage I wish our elected leaders had. Dude, he posted on fucking Twitter a story about Hunter Biden we already fucking knew. It's not like he's out there running into burning buildings. It's not like he enlisted to go over and fight in the Ukrainian war. He's just a rich douchebag posting on fucking Twitter. It's just so ridiculous. And as Luke says, LOL, Elon has his own massive social media platform and 120 million of his own followers and $220 billion. And yet here he is, cloaked in fake victimhood. If Elon Musk is a victim, then no one fucking is. Let's see. And of course, the Chuds are getting out to use this Nothing Burger as a story to, Nothing Burger rather, this Nothing Burger of a story to try to use it as proof that the election actually was stolen for Trump. He was right all along. Charlie Kirk says, if Twitter hadn't interfered in the 2020 election, there never would have been any issue on January 6th. Citation needed. Where's your proof, motherfucker? Goddamn, Fox News literally buried the story about Donald Trump's affair with the porn star. The National Enquirer bought the rights to her story and buried it. If you're really looking for evidence on things that could have cost one side the 2020 election, there's plenty to find on Trump's side. If you're interested there, Charlie Kirk, which I know you're not. But man, I am so disappointed once again. My former hero, Richard Dawkins, just gets worse and fucking worse. I don't get it. This is the man who taught me evolution when I was an adult, I'm ashamed to say. I didn't learn evolution in schools here in Mississippi. They did not teach it to us. I was a Christian until I was 33 years old. Didn't even really understand how evolution worked until Richard Dawkins, in his videos he made for children, explained it to me as an adult. Dude literally coined and created memes in his 1970s book, The Selfish Gene. Dude is brilliant. Was one of my heroes at one time, and all he does is disappoint over and over and fall further and further and further. So he recently wrote a new book called Flights of Fancy, and he dedicated the book to Elon Musk, y'all. Richard fucking Dawkins. Somebody asked him, you dedicated your latest book, Flights of Fancy, to billionaire entrepreneur Elon Musk. Why does he impress you? To which Dawkins says, he certainly is a high flyer, and he certainly is a hero of our times. I do admire him, and I think that he's an appropriate dedicatee for a book about flight. He's a man with immense imagination, and he is a genius as an engineer, a genius as an entrepreneur. Oh my God. I don't want to say just die already. That's mean, but holy goddamn shit, dude. You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. This is just so bleak. Just don't have heroes, folks. Don't ever put anybody on a fucking pedestal. They'll only disappoint you. But one thing that's amusing is apparently Elon Musk and his ex-wife, mama to his children, Justine Musk, I guess she kept that last name, are kind of having a few spats on the Twitter sphere. I showed you last time where Elon Musk lied about his child dying in his arms, and his wife was like, yeah, no, the child died in my arms, you lying motherfucker. Then she slapped him down recently by saying, so let me get this straight. We are now supposed to step into the marketplace of ideas to debate plus discuss if Hitler behaved poorly or if women should be raped plus locked in cages because these are conversations the culture needs to be having? Good question. Of course, Musk don't have any answer to this. All he can do is roll his eyes. No, roll my eyes. I ain't got nothing to say to you. Yeah, you better shut the fuck up. Don't anger your baby mama. But at least Joe Biden is stepping up to try to take on the Musk electric vehicle monopoly, which he has because the government has given him so much welfare. We have basically funded Tesla and allowed him to keep all the money. And Elon Musk took all that money and he put charging stations all across the country that we, the taxpayers, paid for, but that he exclusively has the rights to and makes all the money for. So Joe Biden decided to punch back a little bit, posted this tweet. We're building 500,000 electric vehicle charging stations across the country. The great American road trip will be fully electrified. That's awesome. Musk don't like it, though. Musk is like, or you could just buy a Tesla, or you could key a Tesla. Just kidding. Don't do that. Don't do it. But as Sofane points out, the only patent Elon Musk holds for electric vehicles, the only one, is for his charging port. So he could make sure it can only be used for Teslas. So yes, he's put infrastructure all across the country that none of the other EVs can use except for him, that we paid for, that he makes all the money for. Fuck everything about that goddamn shit. And once again, if you buy a Tesla, fuck you. You're part of the goddamn problem. Thank you, Joe Biden. And that is my Elon Musk coverage, folks. It was in depth tonight. Had to go deep diving on that motherfucking shit. And folks, hey, if you like my show and you're watching it, so I'm pretty sure you do, could you support me on Patreon? You know how it works. Like, there's a link in the description of this video. If you could click on it and like $1 or $2 a month, help me build it up some, because I only make money off this show through Patreon and through the super chats. And I'm trying to stay in business here. Like, I'm not getting rich or anything. I clear like maybe $35,000 a year. I'm not making a lot of money doing this. So if you can help me out, I work hard. I'd appreciate it. And all right, let's read the super chats. Hell yeah. What we got here? Oh yeah, I got to go and read the few that got removed. Rich Latta, 1759. Hey, Dusty. I know alcohol is not keto. Just curious if you... Okay, well, why is it... Can I click on it? Okay, I can't see it. It's not letting me see the rest of it. Okay, well, this is a stupid fucking system. If I click see all, will it work? Oh, there we go. If you were cheating on your keto diet with alcohol, and if so, are you still able to lose weight? I have not cheated on my diet with alcohol. I have not had anything to drink in a long time, and I don't plan on having anything to drink. But yes, that would definitely knock you out of keto, which I actually did accidentally get knocked out of keto. I'll talk about that later. And $20 euro from Daniel Flores. I think that it's great that now you are making those little excerpts for your live streams. I would suggest to also make something like top 10 of the year for Karens, religious BS, and other stuff. That would be fun. All right, I'll think about doing that. I'd appreciate you. USD $2 from Thick Corgi. Hey, thanks. Appreciate it, Thick Corgi. All right, I think that's all from that. Now let's go back to the regular super chat. Super chats. If you guys bail out, please hit the like button, but don't go anywhere. I have a giant Chud Watch coming up. Wolfgang Gula, I don't know how you pronounce that, but very generous, $50. Holy shit. I'm going to take you very seriously. because of how sexy you are. Hey, man, first time watching this show live despite following you for over 10 years. I'm one of the OGs. Here's some love from the French guy lost in this crazy world. I appreciate it. Thank you, hero. Much love to you. Sup, Dusty? Sup, D? Good to see you. Gigahertz, $5. You should compile all these sex offender priests and religious people that you've exposed on your show and put it all in one huge documentary. Yeah, more work. That's what I should do. People are always like that. Hey, I know you work hard on your show, Dusty, but you know what you need to do if you want to be more successful? You need to work even harder. It's like, I don't know how I'd find time to work any harder than I do, to be honest with you. It takes so much time to put a show like this together. It's really insane. Like, literally, when I get done with this show, literally, the moment I shut the show down, I start working on the next show. That's what I'll be doing tonight if the show's over. But I'll try to work harder for you guys. Lori Burris, $5. Say thank you, Lori. Kiddo Co, $5. I'll go dancing with you, Dusty. Hell yeah, I love dancing. Let's do it. LTC Cherno, $9.99. Dusty, I'm going full Catholic to mess with my conservative relatives. I thought my aunt's head was going to explode when I said I can't support Trump because greed is a sin and marriage is a sacrament. Hey, whatever you got to do sounds fun. April S, woohoo! The sexiest person in the history of the show, and that includes me, April S. Give me $150 and says, trash world, dance the fire, hell is trash world, everything sucks all of the time, and it does, that's sad. But you know what doesn't suck? You, April, you're amazing. Also, a shout out to Glenn Houston, who I keep forgetting to shout out. Glenn, another hero of the show, who always sends me a PayPal that's very generous. Thank you, Glenn. Jason Anderson, I want to watch the 44 billion dumpster fire of Twitter without sponsoring it. Elon, Ye, and Trump are racing for King Idiot. Goodbye, Earth. Well, you can get a little extension. I use uBlock Origin, which gets rid of all the ads on Twitter. So I don't see any of them, so I don't give him any money. So that's what I suggest. Samuel Beckel, keep up, Dusty. I will. Gonna keep it up forever, because I'm never dying. Dusty, low on money again, but here's $2. Hey, thank you, Kubrick. It all adds up. Cole J, $3. Very generous. Thank you, Cole. Appreciate you. Cholo, $42. Keep speaking the truth, Dusty. Great job, man. I will. Basset Hound, $50. Very generous, Basset Hound. Holy shit. Hi, Dusty. Hi, Basset. I live in Columbus. The church canceled the event. I'm trying to find out what happened. Columbus is pretty LGBT friendly, but there are a lot of surrounding areas that are not. Well, if you found any information about it, let me know. But I think we all know what happened. Thank you for your generosity, Bassett. Keeper Lover, $2. Freddie Mercury, Mick Jagger, and David Bowie wore dresses on stage. They must be child molesters. I know, right? Okay, groomers. Polly Pockets, hug to Lori Burris in chat. Hugs to you, Lori. I don't know what happened, but people are thinking about you. Angry Hairpiece, if lip syncing is so harmless, explain Milli Vanilli. I can't, but I can blame it on the rain that was falling. John Bliss, $5. Fascists have been draining swamps for generations. They are far more corrupt than any system they have tried to replace. I know, right? How can you get any more of a swamp than Trump? It don't make any sense. Jake Griff, watching Dusty is way better than Monday Night Football. Are you ready for some football? No, football's boring. Why do people watch that? I mean, different strokes, different folks. It's all good. You gotta let people enjoy things, but it's bad and boring. Basset Hound, $10. Noam Chomsky destroyed the liberal media myth years ago. Dust buddies, check out Manufacturing Consent. Chomsky is the real god, except for his takes on the Ukraine have been horrible. Love me some Chomsky, but dipshit as far as Ukraine goes, in my opinion. $10 from Cole James. Thank you, Cole. Appreciate you. Nightfall Shadow, $5. It's okay, Dusty. Kim.com used to be my hero, so I understand about Dawkins. I lost a lot when Mega Upload went away too. It's sad when heroes fall. Yeah, that guy went real south, real fast. Big Black Corvette. I'm still broke as a joke, but I think the kiddies deserve it. Hey, I appreciate you, Big Black Corvette. Good to see you tonight. And Seth LeBron became a Dust Buddy. Hey, you guys can become a Dust Buddy for $2.99 a month and get customized emojis to spend the chat with. All the cool kids are doing it. There's a button down here. You click and become a Dust Buddy, and you get like this power fist for trans rights, and you get all the customized emojis that all the cool kids are using in the chat. Do it to it. Jason Ashby, he one of the cool kids too, as well as Rich Larson. Thank you guys. 19 months of Dust Buddy. Keep doing it. Appreciate you. And all right, more super chats, please. Got to read all the rest of them at the end of the show. We still got plenty of show to go. So thank you all for supporting it. But immortalize yourself as we move along to the Chud Watch. And Senator Foghorn Leghorn back out stumping for Herschel Walker. They have to have people up there to speak for him because every time he speaks, it doesn't go well. Let's have a listen to the very solid, very logical reasons that he's telling us we need to vote for Herschel Walker.
Dear Lord, save us from the IQ stupid people. They may be smart, but they don't have any sense. Now you know who they are. They're all over Washington, D.C. These high IQ stupid people. And they're in charge. Most of them are woke.
Oh, no.
Most of them are members of the berserk wing of the Democratic Party. They're in charge.
How?
And these high IQ stupid people have an answer for everything. You know why?
Because they're educated?
Because they think they're smarter and more virtuous than the American people.
I mean, they're smarter than you guys for sure, but that's a real low bar.
These woke, high IQ stupid people, they're easy to recognize. They hate George Washington. They hate Thomas Jefferson.
I don't even know them.
They hate Dr. Zeus, and they hate Mr. Potato Head.
All right, first off, it's Dr. Seuss, not Dr. Zeus, and we literally don't give a shit about either one of those things. You guys just made that up in order to have a straw man to attack.
These woke, high IQ stupid people, they walk around with Ziploc bags of kale.
So they're healthy and don't want to have a heart attack and die at a young age? Oh my God, what morons!
If they can eat to give them energy. Now, if you want to eat kale, that's up to you. I don't eat kale. You know why? Because kale tastes to me like I'd rather be fat.
So there you go, folks. There are the important policy positions that they want to tell you to make you vote for Herschel Walker. You know, important stuff like our opponents like kale and don't like Dr. Seuss. So, you know, get out there and vote for him, folks. Just makes sense. Holy God. And then, who is worse than J.K. Rowling? I suggest nobody. So, for some reason, she loves the libs of TikTok now. You know, the stochastic terrorist account who does nothing but post information about where drag queen story hours are going to be held so terrorists can go out and harass people, threaten them. And they posted this to make fun of this person. This person says, Elon Musk is jailbreaking another one of his white supremacist buddies. Talking about them bringing Ye back. And Chad Spencer says, 2022, where we can call a black man a white supremacist. And the person said, I said what I said. Yeah. He's called himself a Nazi, dude. He has now talked about how much he loves Hitler and Nazis. So he sort of called himself that. Yes, black people can be white supremacists if they want to sell out that much. Did not age well. But Lizzie TikTok posted this to make fun of him. And of course, J.K. Rowling liked it because got him. Didn't age very well, though, did it there, J.K.? And breaking news, folks. Apparently, Kanye West has fired Milo Yiannopoulos as one of his head consultants. Milo says, Ye and I have come to a mutual conclusion that I should step away from his political team. Ye is a genius whom I have come to love and respect. We remain friends. I will continue to pray for Ye and all his endeavors. Oh, it's amazing. I'll just read what I wrote. I can't believe that go on Alex Jones and talk about how much you love Hitler turned out to be bad advice. Who could have possibly have seen that coming, Milo? Better luck next time, dipshit. And Nick Fuentes, Booger Eat Nick, not so happy about the coverage of the Kanye West Alex Jones conversation this week. He's all mad because, shockingly, people seem to be focusing on how much Kanye said he loved Hitler. Who could have possibly guessed that would be something people were going to be talking about? Here he is lamenting how poorly the whole thing has gone.
A lot was said. And the big headline is, of course, the most provocative stuff. And I kind of don't like this about the interview. I thought the interview was like a movie. It was a great interview. The whole 3 hours are totally compelling. It's funny, it's informative, it's interesting. But the media, of course, is only focusing on the part where he said he loved Hitler. So what's that all about?
Oh,
he
shocking.
said other things too.
Oh. Like I'm a
all
Nazi.
the media wants to focus on is how he kept bringing up the Jewish media and how he said that he's a Nazi and loves Hitler. They didn't even talk about the fact that he's actually speaking about the other problems going on in the country besides the Jewish media, like water, food, education, shelter, medicine. So I don't want to make it come across like that was the only thing that happened, but of course that's just what the media is focusing on. A lot was...
Who could have possibly have seen that coming? Everybody on the goddamn world, you fucking idiot. And then, this is what a pathetic, cowardly piss baby Nick Fuentes is. And you actually love to see it. So apparently he was out at a fast food restaurant and somebody threw ketchup at him. Good. Milkshake this motherfucker wherever he goes. He should never leave the house without people crawling up in his ass and telling him he's a social pariah and he's not wanted in public. The social pressure should be so high on this motherfucker that he doesn't want to leave his house. Bully him into submission. Now, I'm not saying violently. I'm not saying anybody hurt, physically abuse Nick Fuentes in any way. But what's a little ketchup? Am I right? So, of course, he's such a pussy. What he does is he throws his drink back at this person and splashes a bunch of innocent bystanders. Let's have a look.
I did. You know that is.
So he hits these two gentlemen instead, and you might be wondering, well, why aren't they whooping his ass? Because apparently this is his security he hired. That's why he's just standing there, not worried about it. Just throw you a drink at your fucking security. Way to treat your own people horribly. Cowardly piece of shit. Go over there and do something about it, dude. If you got a problem, you feeling froggy, jump, bitch. Of course, we know you ain't gonna do shit. Maybe wipe your boogers on somebody. That's about all you got. But that ain't stopping people from going out there and defending Kanye West's I love Twitter stance, like Scammy Davis Jr., Ali Alexander, who says worshiping the devil is worse than saying a single positive thing about a single positive trait of Hitler. Yeah, well, good thing the devil doesn't exist, and none of us actually believe in him. It's you guys who believe in him. Not me, motherfucker. And also, shockingly, I guess they call them the black Israelites. Is that what they call themselves? The Hoteps. This group of black people who apparently love Hitler have made Kanye West their new hero, their new spokesperson. And they're going out in public to show their support for Ye. Let's have a look.
Good about that.
Why don't I feel good about what Kanye's saying?
Both of them and Kyrie, what they got going on.
Well, I'll talk mainly about Kanye. I mean,
right, what about Kanye? Why you don't feel good about what he's saying?
And he's praising...
You're half Jewish.
Yes, and he's praising Hitler, saying the Nazis were cool, and saying the Holocaust didn't happen.
Yeah, no, we support Hitler.
Right. All of you?
Yeah. Bring it out. Right. Because Hitler was killing your people, man. Hitler knew who the real Jews was. Right? Hitler wasn't oppressing my people. He was coming for your nuts. Holy right? And let me give you a wake-up call, man. You're not a Jew. You're not Jew, right? You're the seed of the devil, man. Right? These brothers on these platforms, Kanye and Kyrie, shaking things up. It's because it's a great awakening happening, right? The real Jews are back on the streets. And you so-called fake Jews who stole our identity are going to go into slavery. Right? Because you're not a Jew. Right?
Did the Holocaust happen?
It did happen, and we're glad that it happened. But guess what happened as well? But guess what?
Yep, started to think you guys might be a little racist. For anybody out there saying black folks can't be racist, just saying. And I don't think Jewish people are going to be enslaved, dudes. Wishful fucking thinking. Yikes. What is wrong with these people?
And Benny Shapiro, on his subreddit, his moderators are lamenting the fact that why are so many people that follow Ben Shapiro anti-Semitic? What could possibly be causing this? The moderator says, anti-Semitism is our most commonly banned violation. It kind of pisses me off at how many think they be welcome with open arms in a sub about a Jewish political commentator. I personally suspect that they come from many of the more poorly moderated subs, like the former Matt Walsh sub. And I think they can push the conversation towards the more extreme side of conservatism. Yeah. Who could possibly be responsible for this? Says the guy in the hot dog costume. You lay down with dogs, you get fleas. Literally hiring Matt Walsh to work for you. Obviously, you're going to draw in the dregs of humanity, the lowest of the low, the bottom of the barrel. These are your fucking people. Learn to love it, fuckos. You get what you fucking deserve. But at least some good has come out of this, folks. I told you in the last show that the subreddit for Kanye West was turned into a Taylor Swift appreciation Reddit sub. But now they've changed it to be a sub that draws awareness to the Holocaust and to anti-Semitism, which is pretty cool. Good to see that. Just goes to show you that not all of Kanye West's fans are a complete bottom feeder piece of trash. They know when to jump off the sinking ship. And then, folks, Trump heard about the fact that Twitter removed some of Hunter Biden's dick pics off their servers and has decided to call for the abolition of the Constitution of the United States because of it. I shit you not. In the bizarro goddamn world we live in, former President Donald Trump says, so with the revelation of massive and widespread fraud and deception, in working closely with big tech companies, the DNC and the Democratic Party, do you throw the presidential election results of 2020 out and declare the rightful winner? Or do you have a new election? A massive fraud of this type and magnitude allows for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution. Our great founders did not want and would not condone false and fraudulent election. That's right, folks. They took Hunter Biden's 9-inch penis down, that juicy, large, fat hog, removed from Twitter. I would have won the election if people could have saw his giant dong. So, obviously, we got to tear up the Constitution and throw it away. It just makes sense. And you would think that this would finally be the line, folks. This would be it. The people that worship Trump, who day in and day out claim that their only goal in life is to defend the Constitution. You would think, finally, they're going to turn on Trump. Finally, they're going to be like, he's saying, as clear as day, he wants to terminate the Constitution. This is everything we are fighting against. We cannot support Trump. Literally, the most popular Trump website is patriots.win. They call themselves patriots because of their supposed support for the Constitution. So I went over there to read about it. And it's a ghost town of mentions. Almost nobody on there is mentioning this period. But the one or two threads they do have mentioning this, their take is he didn't actually say that he wants to terminate the Constitution, even though A massive fraud of this type and magnitude allows for the termination of all rules, even those found in the Constitution. It's incredibly clear. But if you go read what they're claiming is, no, Trump didn't say that. What Trump is saying here is that the Democrats have terminated the Constitution. They've done it. He's not saying he wants to do it. He's saying that they've done it, which is, we can read it for ourselves. We know that's not true. But they don't live in the same reality as we do. The truth doesn't matter to them. They are as fake as any human being could ever possibly be. There's no reaching these people. And case in point, even the leaders of the Republican Party asked directly, Trump just said he wants to terminate the Constitution of the United States. Are you still going to vote for a guy, for president, who has declared he wants to terminate the Constitution? They can't even say no to that, folks.
The economy is stable and they have the jobs to be able to live and take care of their family.
But Donald Trump was your nominee in 2016 and 2020. You voted for him in 2016 and 2020. Now he's talking about suspending the Constitution. Can you support a candidate in 2024 who's for suspending the Constitution?
Well, again, it's early. I think there's going to be a lot of people in the primary.
That wasn't the question. Dodge, dip, dive, dodge. God damn it, they're slimy as fuck.
I think at the end of the day, you will say whoever the Republicans end up pick, I'll fall in behind because that's...
Even if it's Donald Trump and he's called for suspending the Constitution?
Well, again, I think it's going to be a big field. I don't think Donald Trump's going to clear out the field like he did in the 60s.
But if he does, answer the fucking question, you scumbag. You spineless fucking weasel.
What I'm asking you, if he's the nominee, will you support him?
I will support whoever the Republican nominee is.
There you go.
And I just don't think that at this point he'll be able to get there because I think there's a lot of other good quality candidates out there.
That's a remarkable statement. You'd support a candidate who's come out for suspending the Constitution?
Yes.
Well, you know, he says a lot of things. You have to take him in context. And right now...
Yeah, take him in context. We are. That's what he fucking said. But now he's going to say, oh, Trump just says anything. He's just full of shit. He's just a liar. You can't pay attention to what he says. He's not trustworthy. But yeah, of course I'll still back him as president. My excuse for backing him as president is that he doesn't mean what he says and he's a liar. That's what we're dealing with here.
I have to worry about making sure as a Republican governance group and a Republican majority that we make things work for American people. And I can't be really chasing every one of these crazy statements that come out from any of these candidates at the moment.
But that's an extraordinary statement. You can't come out against someone who's for suspending the Constitution?
Well, first off, it has no ability to suspend the Constitution. Secondly...
But he says he's for it.
Well, you know, he says a lot of things, but that doesn't mean that it's ever going to happen. So you got to accept exact fact from fantasy. And fantasy is that we're going to suspend the Constitution and go backwards. We're moving forward, and we're going to continue to move forward as a Republican majority and as a Republican conference.
I don't see how you can move forward if your candidate is for suspending the Constitution, but thank you for your time this morning.
Such a goddamn weasel. Yes, we will support a president who wants to suspend the Constitution. They just do not give a shit. They are the exact opposite of everything they claim to be. And folks, I know that you're not going to find this next thing as funny as I did. But for some reason, I guess it was just the mood I was in last night. When I clicked on this and I read it, I laughed harder at this than I've laughed at anything probably in a couple years. And now I've overhyped it, so it's not going to be nearly as funny. I don't know why, but I kept reading this over and over again and just giggling my ass off because this is so fucking absurd. So here's the new Trump scam. You get a free bobblehead, but it costs you $9.99, and also it costs you $19.99 a month if you don't cancel. Just the way they scam people is so shameless that it's hilarious. So this is an ad on Truth Social. Free bobblehead! And it's Donald Trump dressed as the Terminator. And it says, I'll be back 2024. They should be sued. Where's James Cameron at? And then the Trumpinator bobblehead. Get yours free today. All you have to do is join the 1776 Society and you get this free bobblehead. Next page. Prepare for Trump's inevitable return to office with this collectible Donald Trump, the Trumpinator bobblehead, exclusively from Proud Patriots. Trump's bid for presidency in 2024 is vital to restoring America back to the nation we all love so much. It's time to undo the damage the Democrats have done. This collector's edition bobblehead is made with high-quality resin material, and we are only making them in a limited quantity, so once we sell out, they're gone. Each order comes with the collectible, the Trumpinator bobblehead, and a premium display box. This item is pre-order. Gonna ship January 21st. Then the next part of the ad. You too can check this box, folks. Not only do you get a free Trumpinator bobblehead, but also for the low price of $29.95, you also can get an I'll Be Back hat. Yes, I will take it. If you click this box, Trumpinator trucker hat, $29.95. And the Trumpinator hat, add the Trumpinator hat to your order at a significantly reduced price. $29.95 is a reduced price for this fucking dollar hat. How much were you guys charging before? Just the level of the grift is sort of impressive, to be honest with you. Goes on to say, our designed snapback cap has mesh at the back for the ventilation. The built-in mesh wicks sweat away and keeps you cool and dry. So this was the funny part, folks. Item 1, free Trumpinator bobblehead, $9.97. Free Trumpinator bobblehead, only $10. Like, it just, how can this be real life? They know how stupid their audience is, and they're not even fucking trying. Free bobblehead, $9.97. Just what the fuck? And then on top of that, you get a 14-day trial from the 1776 for free. So your order total is only $9.97 for a free Trumpinator bobblehead. However, let's read the fine print here. After your trial is up, you'll continue to have access and will be billed $19.99 a month. So, you get the free bobblehead. All you have to do is pay $9.97, and also, if you don't cancel, $20 a month. How much more free could you possibly get than that? It's just amazing. Like I said, it's almost impressive, the level of the fucking grift, and the fact that it works at all against anybody. And all right, we're going to skip the Don Jr. post. Let's skip this one, too. I don't want to talk about that one. We're about to run out of time. Let's go to Kevin Sorbo. Always fun to make fun of Kevin Sorbo. So Kevin Sorbo doing what he do out there, complaining, whining, playing the victim. Same people that say, hey, don't blame other people for your problems. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Never do it. But I love to hear him cry. Let's have a listen.
What has happened to this world where no matter what somebody like I do, that is certainly conservative and certainly Christian, get attacked from my point of view, get canceled from my point of view.
Oh no, people criticize me. People have the same freedom of speech that I do, and they can tell me what a dipshit I am. The horror, the horror.
It happened to me in Hollywood, and it's going to happen to you too.
It's not.
These are people that are miserable people. They don't like their lives. They don't look like they don't love what they see in the mirror.
I mean, honestly, you don't seem too happy with your life there, Kevin Sorbo. You're bitching and complaining about it.
They don't want you to have any kind of success.
I mean, you're right. I don't want you to have any kind of success because you use your platform to spread bullshit, propaganda, and things that hurt our society. But luckily for me, you're completely fucking talentless. So I don't have to worry about you having a career. It's not my fault you can't fucking act. It's not my fault you can't write. It's not my fault you can't direct, motherfucker. You know, maybe you should have gone to college for that. Studied instead of making fun of people that go to college. But, you know, Keep whining, fucko, because I love to hear you cry. And then one more from Jordan Peterson, who cannot stop tweeting every 5 fucking seconds. This one is making fun of liberal news shows. And hey, I have a liberal news show. This one claims to be every liberal news show. This is a satire of liberal news shows like mine. Let's have a listen and see if this sounds like the same show that I'm doing.
We follow the science and talk about implicit institutional bias regarding diversity in the workplace while creating a safe space to deconstruct microaggressions stemming from systemic inequality created by an oppressive cisnormative system.
Okay, first off, doesn't sound anything like me. I don't do a show like that. But also, it just sounds like this person is nice. It just seems like they're thoughtful. And they're trying to examine our society through the lens of reality and change it so that it's better and more equitable for everybody. So they're literally making fun of this person for being good, which, yeah, that tracks, Jordan Peterson.
While increasing equity in the name of inclusivity to combat racial racist racism for minorities and the trauma from being marginalized by climate change. We interview the leader of BLM, a POC, about AOC fighting for CRT. We cover how the LGBTQs are crippled by toxic masculinity. We then shame you for having white privilege, because if you're white, you're privileged regardless of if you're mentally ill, dying of a horrible disease, or been raped a bunch. We then talk about Trump for 30 minutes, pretending like we hate him, but clearly want him elected again because we can no longer pay our rent with tote bags. We then reveal another 75 new gender identities, and finally we ask, should Guy Fieri be canceled for culturally appropriating lesbians? It's currently 79 degrees in Central Park. The time is 4:53 p.m. But time was invented by the patriarchy, so you can make up whatever time you'd like. We'll be right back.
Ah, nailed it! Sounds exactly like me in every way. Boy, do I feel stupid. But literally, it's just the character he's playing is a good person who's trying to make society better. No wonder you hate it. You guys are the fucking worst. And that is my Chud Watch. What you got to say to me, dirty, sexy porgs? Get your super chats in, folks. Got a couple more sections. Move right along. That was funny. Hey, it's funny to conservatives. Conservatives are getting better at comedy, and I know we're all worried as fuck. Kevin Sorbo's career has been dead a long time ago. Like God has been disappointed. Freedom apparently costs $1.05. I know, right? America, fuck yeah! Kevin Sorbo took the mantle of Christianity to hide his vanity. Yeah, he's poorly aging, not taking it very well. Lead into it. That's the way to do it. And next up, move right along, folks. Time for some heroes. We could be heroes just for one day. And first off, on tonight's heroes, big shout out to the heroes in Iran risking their lives to try to make their lives better, to try to overthrow the oppression they're facing. Apparently, Iran has decided to get rid of their morality police after mass protests. You know, the morality police, the ones that go around and imprison people for having sex out of wedlock or beat you and kill you for not wearing a hijab. This just goes to show you how effective mass protests and riots can be, folks. Of course, it's not over for them. They're still under immense oppression. But a lot of these are incredibly brave women who said enough are enough and are standing up for themselves. And we support the shit out of you guys. Keep it up. I know their fight is not over yet, but progress at least. Can look for the silver linings in this kind of shit. And one more on our heroes list. Apparently there is a bar in Cape Town, South Africa, and according to this guy, black people are turned away unless they're accompanied by a white person. And this white dude is not having it. He walks in here and he hands them their asses. Go off, King.
It's not a calm situation. It's maybe calm for you because you don't give a fuck. Because you think you have the right to tell whoever you want to come in, but you don't. You said on the phone, I have the right to tell whoever to let in. No, you don't. You don't have the right to discriminate in this country. It's a crime.
For reservation.
On the basis of race. Do you? Do you? Yes or no? Do you?
My brother, don't interrupt.
This is what happened.
Okay.
This man right here, Tabiso, came in yesterday, okay? Right. Moments after Jordan came in. Moments after, okay? Your bouncer stopped him and said, why are you going in? Who are you going into? Okay? He said, why are you asking me? He said, you can't come in here unaccompanied without a white person. He said, what? He said, you can't come in here without a white person. If you come in here, I know what you like. You steal, you guys cause trouble. You need to come in here with a white person. He asked him, who decides this? This is what the bosses have told me. Then Jordan, not knowing where Tabiso is, goes out and sees the bouncer re-explain this and says it to him again and says, it's not me who decides, it's the policy. Now, I'm sure if this had to fucking get out, there's a lot more people that have experienced this. This is firstly a crime. I'm not done speaking. When I'm done, I'll give you an opportunity. It's firstly a crime in this country. Do you know where you exist? You exist in South Africa, where we have a deeply painful history of this shit. Secondly, this shit will fucking blow up. An institution like Hanks, you're known. You're not a fucking somewhere in the middle of nowhere. You can't be fucking doing this shit. You will become like cliques overnight. You have protesters outside your fucking door. Do you think this is alright? Is this the practice of the business? Is this how you've decided and instructed your fucking bouncers to do? Speak. You clearly know about this.
Well, listen. We've been trading for 8 years. We've never had an incident ever before, and I can speak for our barman. And we've got an eclectic. I mean,
what are you saying? Address the issue.
Just hang on a second.
Eclectic. What the fuck?
We've never had a race issue here before. Is that correct, Danny, or not?
So what does that mean? What the fuck does that mean?
I'm building up to.
He's aware of it. He's aware of it. I've heard of it.
It's like no one's ever made a stink about it before. So what's the problem? Yeah, we're making a stink about it now, motherfucker. Crawl up in their ass. Shut that motherfucking place down. Yeah, that's my heroes list. Hell yeah. You guys see that dude's hot? Pretty good looking. Definitely well spoken. Has righteous outrage. Love to see it. South Africa. Yep, South Africa. Haven't they been through enough? And all right, move right along, folks. Let's do some slow news with Dustin Smith. Slow News Week with Dustin Smith. Yeah! Hell yeah, ruined my voice. And apparently, they had the Streamies this weekend. And Hassan Piker won for Best News. I don't know about that, dog. I love me some Hassan Piker. I'm glad he exists. Sexy Hassan Piker. But Best News? I gotta call bullshit on that. What motherfucker out there doing the news better than Dusty Smith? Couldn't help but notice I didn't get no nominations. Almost like it's a fucking popularity contest. Not like I'd have gone anyway, but whatever, Streamies. But congratulations, Hassan Piker. I guess if I couldn't get it, you're an okay second or whatever. And then apparently, Blair White is being sued. You know how people sued Alex Jones because the misinformation he spread led to their harassment and put them in danger. Well, apparently, Blair White has been making videos spreading lies about people, and they're not too happy about it. And here's the person explaining why they're going to sue Blair White.
We're suing Blair White. Here's why. Hi, my name's Eli. I'm a writer, activist, and graduate student. I'm also a trans woman and the subject of one of Blair White's latest videos. If you're here, you probably already know who Blair White is. She's the notorious trans YouTuber that promotes far-right conspiracy theories and chronically defames trans people. Her videos have caused immense harm to our communities, and I think it's time we start pushing back. That's why we want to turn Blair White into the next Alex Jones. Since she started making videos in 2015, Blair has sold out her own community for brand deals and celebrity among far-right outlets. More recently, she's made a huge profit in her series of video attacks on trans teachers, parents, and children. actual children. The more outrageous her videos are, the more she stands to earn from them. Blair's videos have caused mass harassment campaigns against vulnerable people all over the world.
We have the same haircut.
I personally received hundreds of harassing comments, misgendering
Who wore it
messages,
better?
and straight-up death threats since she made her video against me. But this isn't just about me, and this isn't just about Blair either. Far-right commentators like Blair feel that they're free to lie and defame queer and trans people without any repercussions. Trans teachers are being fired from their jobs. Trans teens are losing health care. And trans parents are having their children taken away. In the past, Blair has acknowledged that she's defamed trans people. However, none of us have tried to take her to court before. So, we're going to change that. In Blair's video against me, she's made dozens.
Am I buffering? Can you guys hear me? Sorry, does. She does. Oh, no, she don't. What? How can you have better hair than me? Look at this shit. Paid good money for this fucking hair. Still receding. Hairline still fucking receding. How you gonna fucking get hair implants and still be bald, Dusty? God damn it. Anyway, can you guys hear me? Hopefully you guys can hear me. Some people are saying it's buffering. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Anyway, what do you guys think about her suing Blair White? I have mixed feelings. Blair White probably should be sued, but suing YouTubers for shit they say, that might be a bad precedent. But then I'm broke, so what are you going to do? I saw Tim Pool threatening to sue people on YouTube who criticize him too. So I assume he must have been talking about me, but do your worst, fucko. Like I said, making $35,000 a year. What are you going to take? You want a couple dogs? Take them. They're your responsibility now, Tim Pool. They're going to eat your beanies. And then on the Slow News Week with Dusty Smith, God damn it, speaking of frustration, you guys know who Amaranth is? Twitch streamer. Apparently somebody anonymously just sent her $70,000 in cash for nothing. That's how frustrating this world is. This is 2 years of my salary. I'll be working my ass off day and night on this show for 2 years to make just what one human anonymously sent her for no fucking reason when she's already rich.
A taser, an iPhone. This is so strange. Is this a YouTuber who's like trying to pull a prank on me or some shit? 20,000. Another 10,000, $30,000. These are the 5s, the 10s. What the actual fuck? This has to be either a YouTuber or
yeah,
taser.
What the actual fuck? That's my question. Just good God. It's like giving Alex Jones $1 million in Bitcoin for no fucking reason. Just rich people making other rich people even fucking richer, despite how many people in the world could use that shit. Yes, I'm jealous. It's a bad color on me, I know. And then here's a guy who has a giant opinion about his own capabilities. He's like, oh, this 4,000-pound Jeep is about to be overturned? Don't worry, I get it. Yeah, get the fuck out of the way. Yeah, that's why you don't do that, dude. What do we learn? What did we learn? Let's watch that again. Yeah, I weigh $160. This thing's only 4,000 pounds. No problem. Yeah, you lucky. You should be dead right now. You fucking Darwin Award-win dodging motherfucker. You lucky. And as I was saying earlier, folks, I watched this documentary yesterday about the Silk Road.
Silk Road user.
So you guys know what the Silk Road is? It was the website that was through the dark web, basically. You had to use Tor, which is a special browser that allows you to get on a certain part of the internet that's much harder to track. I guess that's where all the kiddie porn is and whatnot. But they also had a site called the Silk Road, where you could go on there and you could buy drugs. And this dude was the guy who ran the Silk Road and owned the Silk Road. His name was, where the fuck's his name at? Ross Ulbricht. Called himself the Dread Pirate Scott, from that movie, The Princess Bride. And the whole story is very fucking interesting, but this particular documentary focused on a series of text messages that he exchanged with this person. And so, hour and 50-minute documentary, I'm going to cover it in about 5 minutes. So here's what happened. This is a great example of how somebody can be incredibly smart in one area and such a fucking moron in other areas, folks. How you can be almost a genius in certain ways, but so naive, you can barely tie your own shoes in other ways. So here's what happened. One of the vendors on his website was scamming people. What they would do is they would get drugs and they would put the drugs on the website and they would sell them and they built up a reputation for themselves. And then they would take a lot of orders for more drugs and then they would take that money and they would disappear. And then they would just create another account and then sell drugs and then build up their reputation and then try to sell a bunch more drugs and then steal that money. And they did it over and over and over again. So this person decided they were going to try to scam Ross Ulbricht. So they messaged him and they said, hey, I am a partner of one of your vendors. And what has happened is your vendor asked me to buy a bunch of drugs from the cartel, from these drug dealers. And then they took the drugs and they disappeared and they stole the drugs. And now the cartel is about to murder me because I cannot pay back this money for the drugs. So if you don't pay me or pay the vendor, which you clearly owe money to for these drugs, what I'm going to do is I have hacked into my friend's account and I have gotten all the information about all the people they sold drugs to through your account. And they also have a lot of information about other vendors who sold drugs to your account. And if you don't pay me $500,000, I'm going to release this information to the public. And I don't want to do this, but I'm scared for my own life because the cartel is going to kill me. Please, please give me this money or I'm going to die. So this guy sends a message back to the person and says, I don't owe you any money. I'm not going to pay you any money, but here's what you should do. Give me the contact information. Put me in contact with the drug dealers who are trying to kill you, and I will try to work something out with them. So obviously we know what fucking happened. This person just pretended that they were the drug dealers and they messaged him as the drug dealers. And this motherfucker actually believed that this person trying to scam them contacted the drug dealers, had the drug dealers contact him, and he was talking to the fucking cartel. This is how naive and stupid this motherfucker is. And it was incredibly obvious when you were reading the exchanges that he was being conned, but he was so fucking stupid. So the first thing he does is he tells the cartel he thinks he's talking to, hey, you guys should start selling your drugs on my website. We can start a business deal together and just eliminate this middleman of this other person who owes you money. And then as he's talking to who he believes is the cartel, the scammer also messages him on the other account and keeps saying, hey, they're going to kill me. You have 24 hours to give me this money or I'm going to release all this information to the public, which would destroy your website. People realize that this information can be made public. They're not going to trust your website anymore and your website's going to collapse. So you need to pay me. So he contacts the people. He thinks he's the cartel again, but it's obviously also the scammer. And he says, hey, I want to hire you to murder this person who's trying to blackmail me. So the scammer, as the cartel, says, sure, no problem. That'll be $150,000. So this motherfucker sends the cartel $150,000 in untraceable Bitcoin, which is the guy who was trying to scam him to begin with. And so the guy claims that they went and murdered the guy he wanted to. But then they said he had 3 more partners that we found out about that are also on your website scamming people. And so this motherfucker says, okay, I want you, the cartel, to also kill all 3 of those people. They said, fine. It'll be $500,000 more in Bitcoin and we'll kill these 3 people. This motherfucker pays the scammer another $500,000 in Bitcoin, which apparently at its height would have been worth $500 million, folks. He paid the equivalent of $500 million to a scammer in the hopes of murdering 4 people he had never met before. So yeah, he's doing double life now. The weird thing is they didn't get him for any of the murders he thought he was having committed, even though they weren't being committed, because it was all fake and he was just being scammed. He didn't get tried for that. He got tried for the drug shit, and now is doing double life in prison for this bullshit. But just goes to show you how fucking stupid even some of the most smart people among us can be. $500 million in Bitcoin to a goddamn scammer through text messages, folks. Just unbelievable. Very interesting documentary if you guys want to see it. This one's called The Dark Side of the Silk Road. You can Google search it if you want to. And one more, folks. One more story. This is for my what the fuck section. This is going to take a little while to go through, but it's worth it. This is one of the most what the fuck stories I've ever read. Let's go ahead and start off with the title of the story. Man poses as attractive blonde woman, convinces police officer to hand over patrol car. Oh, goody. I'll allow it. Let's see where this one goes. A young man's fake Tinder persona of an attractive blonde woman was so convincing, he managed to persuade an active police officer to hand over his patrol car and body armor vest. Tyler Raruri Tatera, the 23 and long fascinated with police, used the car and vest in an elaborate sex money scam, swindling tens of thousands of dollars in total from 3 victims. They bought him iPhones, a car, and in at least one case, had sex with him. Court documents tell the story of an easily bored young man skilled at using superficial charm and deceit to create chaos. So, Tatera's relationship with the first victim, named in court documents as Mr. H, was a farce from the start. They met on Tinder in January 2020, and for 9 months, he fooled her into thinking he was a police dog handler and in an undercover role. So, to solidify his act, he sent her photos and videos of himself in police uniform. It is not clear how he got the uniform. Photos of police staff, police cars, the inside of the police station, as well as audio from a police radio. He also told her he owned multiple properties and a business called Empire Capitals, sending her emails from a fictional assistant called Mark and calling himself Lord. A part of his business advice, Tatera convinced her to buy a car for him in her name, saying it would increase her credit score. These people are so goddamn stupid. She also bought him an iPhone after he said he couldn't buy it himself because he had business disputes with Spark and Vodafone. He eventually returned the car, beat up and needing costly repairs. He never returned the phone. The pair had a romantic relationship between January and September 2020. Tatterer struck again shortly after that, this time as a woman. Using photos stolen from a former policewoman's social media, including her in uniform, he created the Tinder profile of an alluring blonde called Tori and started messaging the second victim, an active police officer called Mr. L, in early October 2020. Tori told Mr. L she was working in an anti-corruption operation and needed his help to plant a listening device in a police car. On 11th November 2020, Mr. L brought a marked police patrol vehicle to Auckland and handed it to Tatera, thinking he was Tori's colleague. Motherfucker brought this guy a police car and gave it to him and let him keep it, y'all. Talking about thirsty. Holy shit. Tatera had the car for about 4 hours the first time and managed to get the police car a second time later the same month. Tori had told Mr. L the listening device did not work and they needed the car again. Later that month, Mr. L handed over his spare body armor vest, again under the ruse that Tori's undercover work to insert a listening device in it for placement at a police station. Like the first victim, Mr. L was scammed into buying an iPhone 12 for Tori, who said her wealthy father's board members did not want her to have a personal phone or social media for fear of it getting hacked. Tatera returned the police car, but not the vest. Much later, he told police after his arrest that getting the patrol car was worth it for the thrill of driving a Holden Commodore, which I guess is the brand of the car. It gets even weirder, folks. I haven't even got to the crazy part of the story yet. Next up, the security guard. Tatera's fascination with the police connected him with his third victim, a security guard who had always wanted to be a police officer. Using Tori's profile, Tatera met the 32-year-old father of two on Tinder, reeling him in with the promise of his dream job. Over text and Snapchats, Tori convinced the man she was a senior sergeant in the National Organized Crime Department running secret operations and could help him get into her team through a back route. For that, he would have to meet her boss, Sion, who would turn out to be Tatera in disguise. Wearing Mr. L's police vest, Tatera drove a Holden Commodore modified with lights and aerials to look like a police-issued vehicle to the security guard's house for their first meeting. Tatera looked the part, used the right police jargon, and was confident, the man told the jury when the case went to trial. After that first meeting, a friendship began where the two men saw each other frequently for near 3 months. The security guard visited and stayed at Tatera's family home in Wakatane. Tatera, in turn, met the man's 2 children. Tatera convinced the dad to invest in a watch, promising it would yield a large return when resold. The man took out a bank loan, withdrew money from his children's bank account, and transferred $15,000 to Tatera. Here's the next sentence, folks. The 2 men also had sex. What the fuck? The Crown initially accused Tatera of duping the security guard into having sex with him by threat, and the case went to trial late November before a jury. Prosecutors charged that Tatera, posing online as Tori, used the promise of 3-way sex combined with increasingly large amounts of money and the offer of a dream job in the police to get the man to have sex with him. If he refused, they alleged, the father of 2 would lose the money promised, the $15,000 he invested, and his spot in the police team. Basically, what I'd done until then would be a waste of time, the man said when questioned by senior Crown prosecutor Brett Tantrum. Tatera played the part of a straight man with an ex-wife and child the whole time they were together, and both of them were acting on instructions from Tori, the man told the court. And these were instructions sent through Snapchat or text from a woman he had never met in real life. Defense lawyer Tiffany Cooper argued no threat was ever made, despite what she called unusual circumstance, a romantic and ultimately sexual relationship ultimately formed. You say you're a heterosexual man. You come from a religious background, and this gay sex had no interest to you? She put to the security guard. Correct, he said. I suggest that simply can't be right. You're telling the jury that as a completely straight man, you repeatedly engaged in this sex reluctantly? She said before asking, is it the reality that you started enjoying this with Tyler? No, he said. I hated every moment of it. Tori kept saying I had to prove myself and later on to love Tatera. After 2 days of evidence, the trial was aborted and the jury dismissed. Crown prosecutors dropped the sex charges on the same day. Yeah, no shit. Tatera admitted his other 11 charges, 6 of obtaining by deception, 3 of impersonating a police officer, and 2 of possessing police property. He was sentenced to 3 years and 2 months in jail on 8 of the charges in July. And apparently the police officer who gave him the police car is still a police fucking officer. What the shit? Just a crazy story. Just goes to show you how gullible fucking people are. First dude gave a dude $500 million worth in Bitcoin because he got scammed. This police officer giving him fucking cars. Security guard having sex with him. You had to like it a little bit. I'm just saying, all right? A little bit if you wanted to suck a dick. own up to that. All right, folks. That is my short what the fuck section. Hope you guys enjoyed it. A little bit of overtime tonight. We're about 20 minutes in. And now is the time where I do a quick Q&A. Be sure to ask me questions. Type at Cult of Dusty. It highlights you, and I can read your questions. But first, let's read the super chats. Floyd Fluff and Stuff. Transplant hairs are like 3 trunks and won't thin. The regular hairs among them continue to thin because the process is still happening. That's why you need to keep using finasteride and minoxidil. Agreed. I still use it every single day. Seth LeBron, $5. We learned from the off-roader that physics is still superior to opinion. I'm sorry, but I wish it landed on him without hurting him just to see him piss himself. He got fucked up pretty good, I think. And Joe Hudson became a Dust Buddy. Welcome to Cool Kids. Spam the chat with impunity. Dusty, your yeehaw always brings me such joy, but don't hurt yourself belting it out. I know I got a pair of lungs on me. Gonna do it for as long as I'm able. John Bliss, $5. Nazis in World War II did not even put black soldiers in camps. They took them out and shot them in the back of the head, period. Some of them needed to read up. Yeah, read about Jesse Owens and the fucking Olympics, dudes. It's just so stupid. Of course, they don't care what the facts are. They're in a goddamn cult. They're just trying to con people out of money. Darian Meza, $20. Very generous, Darian. Oro Dusty, vamos a Memphis, loco, Feliz Navidad. Hey, Feliz Navidad to you too, man. Beans and disease. Love you. Liz Bennett, $5. This is your daily reminder that South Africa can export S-grade piece of shit. Don't believe me? The richest man in the world happens to be from South Africa. He is, but he's also part Canadian, so let's also blame the Canucks. $5 from MJ, power to the people. Hell yeah, thank you, MJ. Take my money, says Ricky Bobby. I will, Ricky Bobby, but I don't know what to do with my hands. The proof is in the pudding. Trump loves dictators. Yep. Fatriots, as always. Psycho Source for 2.0, $4.99. Dusty, thanks for keeping us in the know. I'm not on Twitter and don't need to be. Nope, I will tell you guys everything you need to know. I will cover it. You got me covered. Thanks. Have some dough. I will. I appreciate you. Thanks for supporting the show. My kids hate Fridays and Mondays. The TV's mine. Ha ha ha. Hell yeah. You're smart enough to tune into the greatest show in the world. Watch Adam Conover. He ripped into Musk. He did. I love me some Adam. He ruins everything. All right. Richard Larson, Dust Buddy. Seth LeBron's a Dust Buddy. Jason Asby, a Dust Buddy. Colin S., $5. Even if he sold his shares of Tesla, Musk will just sell his shares to someone that would not only make it worse, just out of spite, probably. I still wouldn't buy a motherfucker anyway. I'll buy whatever other car comes out soon and is an EV. Dusty Rock, say thanks, Seth. I appreciate you. Anything pop up? All right. $2 from Ed Dana. Appreciate you. And Ben Davis, $10. Very generous, you guys. Love you. Love you with all my goddamn heart. And all right, let's check out the super chat. So what have I been watching, folks? I have been watching The Real Life Bastard Son of the Devil Himself. I think that's the name of it. Something along those lines. The son of the bastard son of the devil himself. It's this UK show that's like one of the number one shows on Netflix right now. Somebody repeatedly kept telling me to watch it in the chats, and you guys might know this, but I go back after every show and then like mute myself and I read everything you guys are saying, so I hear every word. And I was like, all right, somebody recommended this show. I will go watch it. I thought it was going to be like a low budget, not very good. It's actually incredibly high budget, really good special effects and shit, and pretty good. I'm enjoying it. So, Bastard Son of the Devil Himself on Netflix, but of course, you can just download it. That's my recommendation for the week. Canadian Girl, great show. Hugs. Hey, hugs to you. Take off, hoser. Hey, thanks, mods. As always, mods. Unsung heroes of the show. Love you, oi boy. Good to see you tonight. Dusty, you think you will ever do a Wednesday show? Or is that too much? Perhaps on a very busy weeks. I might. Depends on the week. I'm already working so hard, folks. Holy shit. Runt, the smallest dog I have, keeps getting out of the goddamn fence. Every fucking day I got to go out there and chase that motherfucker down. I fixed the fence like 30 times. I can't seem to fucking figure out how he's getting out. Every day it's just so much work. So I'm trying to do the best I can. But I will consider doing even more work. That seems to be what everybody wants me to do. Even more work. Will the police story turn into a movie or a porno or both? Probably. It'll probably be a Netflix documentary, though. It'll be interesting. I will watch it. Yes, all the what the fucks, I feel you on that. If something's too good for you, it usually is. Yep, I heard that. I don't understand how anybody gets catfished anymore. Seriously. If you're talking to somebody that's sending you pictures, if they won't get on a video chat with you, they're fake. 100% every time, they're fake. Anybody who won't video chat with you is absolutely instantly fake. It's so easy not to get catfished. You have to almost want to get catfished. You have to be like desperate, basically. You turn your brain off. Some dogs are smart. Yeah, dogs are pretty smart, but it's annoying. Thank you. Hey, appreciate you, Ivy Evans. Good to see you. Hope you're feeling well. Half bad bastard son of the devil himself. All right. I took your recommendation. I've been watching it. It's pretty good. Anything else? All right. Folks, please, I beg you, don't make me beg. It'll be ugly. Become a patron. Patreon.com/Codcast. Link in the description of the video. It's how I'm able to keep doing the show. If you want me to do the show forever, please support it. I'm sorry for e-begging every show, but I kind of have to. I ain't got no choice. Wish I had that Tim Pool money, but I don't. And all right, that's my time, folks. I'll be back on Friday. So make plans to tune in to the greatest goddamn show in the history of mankind. Please leave a comment. If you're watching this on recording, type some words. Preferably something you thought about the show or me, but anything will do. Type it. Hit enter for the algorithm. Very important. Hit the like button. Do it to it. And tell your friends. The only way the show's ever going to grow is if you guys do that for me and also help me spread it by word of mouth. I will see you guys in 3 or 4 days. I love the shit out of you. As always, till next time, Logic, fuck yes. And let's play some Experience Machine today. Available for free download on my SoundCloud, where you can also listen to all my podcasts, audio only. And I think it's also on Spotify and Apple. It's all over the place. If you want that, I made it available. I pay like a couple $100 a month, a year rather, for this website. So I can also offer this service to you guys. I got your back. So Experience Machine by Dusty Smith. Let's do it. Oh, yeah, go. Thank you, Warpolo Wizard. Welcome, Fireworks. Love you guys. Good night.